This girl's the juice. Let me not even sing that. Let me not even sing that as a joke. And before. And before, and before, and before, and before, and before. Internet. Cooperate with me, please. And the fact that cooperating. Yeah, that means getting overdone. Eye roll. I need to start organizing all these pictures. And I need to organize them into a folder that is not documents. Okay. Running in the potion, let me in your ocean swim. Running token, cause she knows you're here and token swim. Welcome, chat. It is 1:40 on a Monday morning. We're 48 before we all become poachers. Digital poachers in Monster Hunter Wilds. My woman apparently wants me to be off my rocker scratching the walls. Anyways, welcome, chat. Let's talk about some shit. Starting off with Hassan Piker making a visit to a place he shouldn't be in.
Hey, what's up, Kesrip here. So today we're going to be talking about the Trash Taste Pod.
Hassan Piker, everyone's beloved terrorist to the stars, has decided that he's going to try and get some good popularity and glaze this time, not going on to a political podcast, but instead going on to an anime podcast. That featuring Joe the Anime Man, another person who I've never heard of, and Guguk, to be the ones that host it and have been hosting it for years. I covered this bit yesterday, but we're going to be going over it IRL now. Take it away, Rev.
Podcast, because over the past day or so, they have been facing more controversy than they arguably have ever faced before. Now, the Trash Taste Podcast is a podcast that...
Carl, are you pausing the video just to be able to stand up and turn the light on? Yes, I am. I'm beating the Hassan allegations. Every time. I feel hurt, not even for a second.
largely focuses on anime and Japan, and their three hosts are the Anime Man, CDawgVA, and Giguk, who are three prominent channels who have largely focused on anime and Japan throughout their careers, and right now they're facing a lot of backlash for their most previous podcast episode. And as you can see here, they had a special guest that caused this controversy, and that special guest is, of course, Hassan Piker. Now, I respect these three individuals, but I think they massively miscalculated how people would receive Hassan as a guest on their anime-focused podcast in the year 2025.
The general problem here is that when you talk about these three figures, one of them, as I just mentioned, I literally no context, literally do not know, do not care. The other two, assuming that he is still with her, which is not the case, so let's not even start the sentence off like that. Giguk is considered to be one of the more in-touch, down-to-earth, and finger on the pulse of anime culture and anime content creators that you could possibly see in the sphere of animation, as well as anime fans who are known and actively have the watch time to demonstrate that they watch a lot of content. Not cap, not boring. Then Joey the fucking anime man. Which is to say, just like Mother's Basement, just like Anthony Garamuccia, just like a bunch of other people who are known for it, a content creator whose opinion is based on whether or not he can be able to get attention and whether or not he can get clout from association with a person, and also avoid not or so being related to a topic that allows him to be associated with it. Whether or not he actually says something interesting or does something interesting for people to keep up with. Most commonly, known as an individual, one of many, who would be so boring as to say, I can't believe that you people don't like this horny posting content. This shit's so great. Only to be one of the ones that would pivot, turn around and say, this show and this content is so ass. It's so garbage. I can't believe people enjoy this kind of content. Because something that's been happening within the last few years of animation is that you would have people come along, say that they really like watching content, say that they really like understanding content, claim that they really get it, that they appreciate it, that it is peak. Something that I would say has been pushed for since a good argument would be Konosuba. Konosubarashi Sekai Uzuna Konosubarashi Sekai ni sa Sutufuku na wo. God's glorious gift on this wonderful world, or God's gift, or what a wonderful gift upon God's world, for enemies such as this. Basically, true fan service. Probably the most iconic moment where they would pivot being the Konosuba movie featuring the Sylvie character, who's supposed to be either some type of monster demon that has Furikak, or a representation of what they consider trans women to be, because they made a joke about the lecherous man whore that is the main character, or one of the main characters in the 4 trio, being there and more or less getting meat shoved in his cheeks. Ever since that moment and moments like that in multiple animes, it's not Blue Exorcist, Fire Force. Ever since fan service in animes like Fire Force, ever since fan service in animes like Food Wars, ever since fan service in anything from Bleach to anime adaptations of things like X-Men and Devil May Cry, whenever there's been a sexy woman or a sexy man, they have been unironically upset about it. Unironically mad about it. My character got set back to level 1. They've been unironically upset about it. Unironically mad about it. Irrationally mad to the point of stupidity. Which, just along with everything else that you could complain about, is pretty much, why are you guys mad about something that is in a video game? Why are you mad about something that's in a movie? Why are you mad about something that's in animation? You've been here for the longest time. You knew what was in it. You knew what you had to do. You knew what you had to enjoy. But you just didn't want to look into it. 1 second. So ultimately, much like Claymore and other dark fantasy, a pivot that had happened with Berserk being considered too lewd, too wretched, too vile to be animated, but then begging and begging for things like interspecies viewers to be adapted, only for Japan to adapt it and for Funimation to cancel after one episode because they realized, oh no, we don't want to do ecchi and lewd like that. It has been one of the many nexi points behind why people do not like Crunchyroll, why people do not like Funimation, why people do not like English voice actors that will betray their fan base the moment that they want to do some lewd shit, but they will only support the work if it's something agreed to, like Honey Pop, where basically anything that has ever been fan service suddenly becomes wrong the exact moment that the pivot needs to be icky, dusty, ew. Only incels like this. Basically the sworn enemies of Saffronet.
As you can see, the like-dislike ratio on this is pretty much 50-50. 16,000 likes versus 15,000 dislikes. There's over 20,000 comments on this video right now, and you'd be hard-pressed to find any of them that are positive. And almost all of them are talking about the choice of Hassan Piker as the special guest for this because he is a very controversial figure right now. And the irony of this, of course, is that they had him on the podcast about 2 years ago, and they didn't receive anywhere near this level of backlash because times have changed. Okay, there's always been controversy surrounding Hassan, but over the past year or so, there's been so many things that have been dredged up, so many recent controversies involving him as well, that now a lot of people are aware of what he thinks and what he does and the things he's done in the past, and they don't like it. They don't want him associated with anything they like, including the Trash Taste podcast. There are whole websites right now dedicated to Hassan and his goons and all of the crazy stuff he has done, including being a terrorist sympathizer, sharing terrorist propaganda on stream, saying America deserved 9/11, and other just disgusting comments. There's so many of them that it's hard to keep track. And at this point, like, I'm sure that pretty much every single thing he's done, if someone committed one of those things as a content creator, their career would be over. But here he is, still standing and still getting collabs and being glazed over by journalists on a regular basis. It's absolutely insane.
I would say that if any of the people that were a part of the Trash Taste podcast were to do any of the things that Hassan had done, it is actually very highly likely that they would not only just get away with it, they would actively not be punished. Not only would they get away with it, and not only would they not be punished, they would laugh and say, haha, that's based. That's cool. That's funny. Because who's gonna be the one that holds them to account? Who's gonna be the one that's gonna make fun of them to remind them, hey, we can immediately get some consequences here for you. It's very likely that it wouldn't happen. And not only would I argue that it would be very likely not to fucking happen, it'd be very likely that no one would care, because the only ones that would be judging them is their personal friends. So, with the Hassan Anti-Semi Squad, it's the exact same dynamic. As long as their personal friends give them the okay and give them the out, they will never really deal with the consequences of what they philosophize and what they obsess over. The same kind of dynamic kind of works right now in anime the same way. Basically, every single person is a nepotistic grifter in some shape, form, or fashion. The girls, if I'm assuming the same woman that I'm assuming he's been with, is with him. I'm forgetting her name, but she's blonde, and she's white, and she's basically like the peak gooner, or one of the peak gooners. I'm forgetting her name. I remember. Sitsnap. If my knowledge is to be true and believed, Sitsnap and Giguk have pretty much been the correct taste havers ever since Mother's Basement decided to go down the route of both him and his romantic life partner / wife trying to do things like pissing off the original author of an anime because they considered the anime's material to be garbage and that it must have been written by an incel, despite the fact that the author itself was a married woman. And trying to go down the line of basically saying, oh my god, I love this anime is so great, and then only to turn around and say, this shit is so ass. I hate these people and the stuff they do. They are so garbage. And if it were to come out that they supported what happened on October 7th, there's a possibility, but more than likely they wouldn't. Only because most people, and this is sad to say, it's the only thing that would save them. Most people would say, who the fuck are these people and why should I care about their opinions? They're just a bunch of fucking commies that have hypocritical standards about animation. And that'd be it. Hassan Piker can only be able to get away with it because his behavior, while it's breaking the containment cycle, has yet to really be called out by multiple figures. And thus, people really take him to task the way that they possibly would and should. And would in the future, should things work out the way that we would all like them to work out. It's expected. It is dumb. But it doesn't really matter because we're talking about two entire different spheres of the internet here. One side of the internet desperately will get at them for it. The other side of the internet will say, well, I don't care about their political opinions. They're fucking YouTubers. I want to know about the newest anime coming out. It's more in the topic of all the people who you know that really care about controlling the opinion of the top-down faculties of animation or the top-down faculties of relevant stories and details. All happen to be people that come from a similar, if not the same spheres of influence with very few people to keep them in check. So you have people that will care because they're both Redditors and also they're very aware of the socialized and remembered opinion. And then you have people who will not care because they are far more extreme than anything these broadcasters could ever say and could ever do, and actually look at them as failed heroes because they don't go far enough. So you got the radicals on one side, and then you got the crazy people on the other, and all those individuals with all those crazy ass opinions, they only really exist in that format, in that way, and nowhere else. They do not exist in the way that we might want them to, and they exist as easy targets that pretty much everybody will be happy to criticize, but very few people will really hold to account outright, really for real. So, is it even worth criticizing them? For people like Hassan Piker, it is more than worthy to criticize him and to make fun of him and to mock him, because his inability to handle his shit is the direct consequence of him getting involved in places and with stuff that he should not be involved in, that he should not be involved with, but the only reason why he is still employed is because they haven't found a way to make his bank accounts hurt yet, which is to say to make Twitch's account work yet. So in the line of that, I can actually show you something. Hello, horror. I can actually show you something to that degree. Otherwise known as How Cooked is Twitch. To show you this, I need to go on my back end, and I need to go to my content page. Wow. So, how cooked is Twitch right now? Twitch is this cooked. In the back end of Twitch, there is now a 100-hour storage limit across highlights and uploads that is starting on April 19th, 2025. I, as many users, are currently over the 100-hour limit because highlights are a better form of clip. Sometimes you need more than 30 seconds, and all microblogging platforms support longer than 30 seconds of content. And because of this, we all make clips, we all make highlights. We make clips and highlights not only as a way to shorten the VODs that we use to then edit down our content for the platform, but we also use them as a way to upload material on one platform to then be able to export it to another platform. So, for example, whenever I have done an airdrop stream, recently, I will record the VOD on 2 sites. One is on YouTube, the other is on Twitch, because there are challenges for both YouTube and Twitch. And I will then use that shortened VOD version, where I can clip it outright, and send it to the YouTube side, so that I can easily just not waste their time. I can show them where on the recording it is, because the alternative is to put the whole VOD link, and then you have to put notes on where it can be found. The details or the context of the challenge that's being done, and how long it begins and ends from. A little bit of some overhang to show the beginning, and to show a proper reset. Everything's set up how it's supposed to be, to the middle and the end. Why am I talking with my hands? You can't see me right now. And then, at the end, a little bit of some overhang to show how it ended, and the verification of the equipment being used inside of it. Because of this kind of usage, you naturally will build up a very long amount of time of clips. Because if you're really thinking about this, you need to look at this from the position of a broadcaster. Why would I ever be worried about a storage limit on a website where I'm making clips and making highlights of my work, when those clips and highlights are literally supposed to be a part of the monetization cycle of how I get my work covered and talked about? Why would I be worried about, I can't go over a 100-hour limit, I need to make sure that this one's just as long as this one? That's not how people make content. That's at least not how people clip content. But, of course, in the grand question of who do they care more about, the platform and the users that are on it, or their biggest cash cow, Twitch said, fuck y'all niggas, we love Hassan. So now, I, like other people, am now, according to this, 240 hours and 50 minutes over the 100 limit. So, if I do not manage my content, so-called, before April 19th, I will lose them. Now, to put that into context, this does not include past broadcast VODs or clips. So, if you're a person that doesn't delete your VODs, you just let them naturally time out over time, this doesn't really affect you. And if the majority of your clips actually have active chatter clippers, then that's fine too. But as you can see here, until I do something about the video storage, I literally cannot make new highlights, I can't delete anything, I can't publish or unpublish anything. I can only put up new VODs. So if I do something like I want to clip something up from my VODs, for now, I would have to go through either manually doing this work, or I'd have to download the entire VOD and rip the section that I want for myself inside my editing bay. Now I can do that, but that's also inconvenient. Mainly because if what I want to do is condense it down anyways, why not just directly go to the highlight, cut out the section that I want that's covering the topic that I'm covering for a segment, or for a specific piece of content, or a specific reaction that I know is there, that I specifically timestamped on my stream VOD with a highlight marker so that I could edit it as such, instead of doing all that extra goddamn work. This, of course, comes on top of the copyright strike system, which the DMCA system has always been disrespected on Twitch. This is literally an afterthought. It is irrelevant. But realistically, what this actually does is that it has the consequence of now making every single person go back in time to their old work, like any of these highlights that I had made for older games that I either no longer play or were relevant as a part of my coaching content, or highlights from yesteryear that I could probably get rid of, but I don't want to because they're probably a marker of achievement. I love Comcast. I love Mediacom. 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 I love Mediacom so fucking much. I love Mediacom so fucking much. Anyways, it is where I have things like, as you can see here, things like a barricade and strength ramp synergy from playing Slay the Spire, or an Economicon Chemex, or Metamorphosis Ice Cream, or my first Ascendant 1 Corrupted Heart Kill, or any of my streams of campaigns of Darkest Dungeon, or any particular stuff that I had clipped on my content, or any particular trick that I had documented for my work. I will have to go through all of this, all of them. Some is archive footage, like the first presentation of Top Geek with Jay and Michelle, or achievements in things like defeating that new boss that was introduced in Terraria. I'll have to go through old memories, and I'll just have to cut them. So, good example, highlights of the Icewind Dale runs that I did, or gameplay playthroughs rather. Talking 16 hours, 11 hours, 9 hours, 15 hours, 6 hours. I'll have to get rid of stuff like this. I'll have to get rid of all of it. Even if it's something that you'd be like, yeah, you know, this work, it's old work. I can let go of it. But stuff that will actually be important to me, like conversations, good moments with my family members, good moments with chat, good moments with other content creators, relevant contexts, like my first live coaching sessions, and the work that I did with other people, demonstrating some of my techniques, or shit like this. I'll have to delete it. I'll have to get rid of it. It'll have to disappear. And that's what every broadcaster is going to have to do. That's how cooked Twitch is right now. Now, of course, there's workarounds for this, right? If I want to be able to save it so much, put it onto the VOD channel, right? But it's old work. Ultimately, it only has sentimentality to me, and maybe the people who come from that era. Now, of course, the way that content works, I could just burn it. But of course, this is like the anti-answer, right? Because you're destroying content, you're not preserving it. So, the question you have to ask yourself is, why would Twitch do something like this? What made them think that this methodology, that this was a great choice? Who streams 8 hours a day, never deletes his VODs, has multiple highlight clips that are about self-referential content, that is a constant cycle of both clicks, views, drama, discussion, and springboards for conversations? Hassan Piker, Denims, Frogan, Robbie, and all of Frogan's Arab friends. It is the political class of nepotistic ego streamer that is responsible for this change. Dan Clancy would rather destroy the monetized cycle of the platform than do his goddamn job. He would rather destroy the platform than do his job and punish Hassan. It's sad. It's that bad. It's that bad. Now, if we were living in a world where Susie Wojcicki did what she did to people like Giguk and Mother's Basement and Anthony Garuncia and Joey the Anime Man, it'd be the exact same equivalent. And we would all be saying, wow, I can't believe you guys would be so anti-content creator. Because realistically, having VODs and having old content that either you have pride in or you have sentimentality in is a part of that whole keeping memories and bringing back the good, classic, iconic moments, you know? It's like drinking a can of Top Carl and you want to drink some Carl Classic. Sorry, can't do it. We lost the recipe. What do you mean we lost the recipe? We lost the recipe. Had to delete it. Lost in the fire. Culture. Gone like that. Original content. Gone like that. The jumping off point of things like memes, like Harlem Shake. How people feel about things like Filthy Frank. And I guess also, to the same degree, Unus Honest. Gone. 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 making people have to decide what memories they want to keep and what memories they can destroy. Because really, the argument most people would be like is, the memories are up here. But no, fuck that. New people coming in will never know. They will never understand the culture. They will believe that their jumping off point is the actual jump off point, instead of the original traditional point that it came from. Anyways, enough making myself sad. Moving forward.
Now, like I said, I think the boys here on Trash Taste, they miscalculated how bad this choice of guest would be received.
Miscalculated implies that there was a calculation. They didn't think about it. Hassan wants to be on. Hassan has a large audience. We want to be able to get a large audience too. We want all those people watching him to watch us. That was the conversation. There was no conversation outside of that. There was no conversation outside of that. The entire conversation was, how big is his channel? We will have him on. We had him on before. We can do it again. It'll be fun. Because if we remember, as much as we have been shitting on Hassan Piker, we remember when we did our research on him, what did Hassan say that he hated? He hated the fact that he could not be able to do live content. He specifically explained and complained that he was mad that he could not be able to get people to watch IRL shit. He didn't want to keep having to do news shit. He wanted to do other shit. He wanted to break out his content. He can't. Because the loop cycle that happens is that people get angry that you're not doing your regular content. People get mad that you're not doing your regular content. When they look at your content, they say, where's the shit that we actually want to eat? Let's turn to Kim Belair for a second. They become picky babies and they say, this is not my egotistical, autistic, Nepo streamer baby crash out. I want my actual fun content. I want to watch drama. I want to watch drama and free boot people's content for free. They click off his shit. He gets mad. He looks at his sub count. He looks at his numbers. He sees that the number's trending like this. Just for a half second. And he gets upset. And he goes back to doing the same shit he did before. He has moments where people will crash out on his live stream. He has moments where he will crash out on his live stream. He has people clipping him. That drives him insane. Monetizing him to all degrees. Using it for money. Saying, bro, it's cool if I do it, but it's bad if you do it. Protecting and investing in his drama cycle. Giving views to those that he thinks he deserves it. Taking views away from those he thinks doesn't deserve it. Not giving credit where credit is due. And whenever being forced to answer for his actions, using the HASAN method in order to push accusations and blame off of himself and put the onus on his audience to be aware and fact check him. And then whenever he gets one guide, crashing out. So, for him, something that we looked into the other day, but we'll go back over it again, is that Hassan's reaction to this is very interesting. It's the same thing we usually see him do. But what happens here on this podcast, well, let's let Rev say it.
This happened at the end of the podcast where they're discussing basically how they think people will perceive Hassan as a guest, and that, well, it might have a couple of negative comments.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on.
Of course. No worries.
And I feel like this time is less controversial that I'm on. Now that I've been on one time, they're used to it. So it'll be fine.
We'll still get some
we're about to see.
I guarantee there'll be like 5 comments or somebody's like, I can't believe they had my comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a little more than 5 comments, unfortunately. There's about 20,000 as of recording this video. It's like a day and a half after the episode was released, and you can see a lot of people not happy. This is just a random crop of comments here. Let's read a few. This person with 1,400 likes saying, I prefer my anime discussion not involve a guy who celebrated the death of innocent civilians in no less than 2 different recent modern conflicts and who carries water for authoritarian regimes and celebrates terrorists indiscriminately attacking civilian vessels at sea, abducting their crews, and who still stone women to death for not obeying their every command. Thanks. The next one says, Connor.
That's a leftist Redditor right there. That is a leftist Redditor content. like you have never seen before, your Reddit goal is waiting for you. Feel free to pick it up at the latest resource.
There'll be like 5 comments like, I can't believe they had him back on. Me checks the comment section. Oh, how wrong you were. The next one says, Tibetan here. Congrats for having a Chinese genocide denier on the pod. Very cool, and unsubscribed. Who thought having Hassan is a good idea? This isn't just a simple drama that can be ignored. That's like saying 9/11 is just drama and then proceed to have Bin Laden or Al-Qaeda members as guests to talk about their favorite video games. You guys seriously brought on a guy that is a terrorist sympathizer, glazed a Houthi pirate in his journalist interview, and watches terrorist propaganda videos on stream. Disgusting. And this person says this is not one of those situations where not wanting to talk about drama means ignoring your friend, getting called out for being a terrorist sympathizer, and then platforming him. This is so disappointing. And the comments go on and on and on and on, okay? It's very, very poorly received. And this is even more ironic and really just kind of paints a very clear picture about how people in that community view Hassan, because things are overwhelmingly negative, and that's despite Hassan begging his own viewers to, in his words, brigade.
Oh good, we will not need to. The actual thread that I have is already inside the video. Cool beans.
The video and try to basically counter all of the negative comments. This was live on his stream.
Too bad. I get irritated from just seeing his face. The guy has said so many profoundly idiotic things that I honestly cannot listen to a word from him. The brigade is on, folks. Get in and actively counter the brigade.
Whenever he is confronted about his behavior and his opinions, he says, not like us, not like us. Silence them, silence them, silence them, smother them. Every time. Without fail. He never changes, he never listens, he never learns. This is who they destroy the platforms for. This is who they desperately want you to click onto the streams of. And we'll get into streamer Nupo shit. We're shitting on multiple people today. First it's Hassan, then it's Endymion. Talked a bit about it yesterday. Gonna get deeper into. Well, actually, no. I talked about it the day before that. But we're gonna get into it later. But for right now, back to Hassan's dumbass.
It didn't work. Can you imagine that? It did not work. In fact, it just shows how desperate he is to try to spin the narrative here, and that just made people look even more ridiculous because they're going into the comments section just trying to argue with people, and it didn't work out. But there were some other controversies involving the comment section, including people saying stuff like this. Funny how this comment section suddenly started glazing Hassan after ripping him apart. Don't think we didn't notice that the top comment got removed. Here's another one saying, sad to see they had to delete so many comments. I like Trash Taste, but this is very disappointing. Insecure much. Now there was a lot of comments like this on social media claiming that Trash Taste were going around and deleting some of the top comments that were attacking Hassan. Now, this was the official response pinned to the video by Trash Taste, saying simply, we don't and have never deleted comments on any episodes. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I believe them. Okay, a lot of people will still say I don't believe you, but I generally think they're telling the truth here. Especially when you have a video like this. I can speak from experience. I've never gotten like 20,000 comments in the first 24 hours on videos, but I've had some with like 10,000 videos that have popped off. And I can tell you, when you get a lot of comments coming in a short span of time, it completely busts the comment section. Okay, you'll have the top comments, the most liked ones, falling down underneath hundreds of other ones. Some will just straight up disappear. And then you also have situations where some of the comments get flagged, they get auto-flagged by YouTube, and they're held for review. And, while we're here talking about this subject, same thing for me. I've never deleted a single comment on any of my videos. If your comment doesn't show up, it's because it got auto-flagged for review, and it just never got approved. Because they catch so many, it's impossible to keep track with these flagged comments that happen over and over again, pretty much every minute on YouTube. But yes, like I said, I think I do believe that they were not deleting these comments, and it's just unfortunate timing. But some people saw their response here, and they're even more angry, and I kind of understand where they're coming from, because we're seeing kind of two main issues everyone's talking about right now, right? The overwhelming majority of people are criticizing the choice of special guest. There was also some people saying that there was comments being deleted. They only addressed one of the two things. They went after the much smaller issue of deleting comments. They felt the energy and need to address that, but not to address all of the anger directed towards them and the disappointment for choosing Hassan as a guest for this episode. It shows to many that they don't really seem to care about the complaints and the wishes of people who are not happy about this situation. So it's almost like speaking on that one issue kind of raised some alarms about the other issue and shows that they don't really want to address it, but they felt comfortable enough and felt the need to address this whole deleted comments controversy going on over the past day. Now, there was also some other stuff I was seeing on Reddit, on their subreddit. A lot of debate, people very polarized about this. Some people were very angry about the choice of guests. Some people tried to defend it. Some people tried to call out some of the things going on. But I saw this part here that was interesting. Under the actual official post here, you see someone saying this: first time seeing a 50% like to dislike ratio on Trash Taste episode, assuming the extension is accurate 30 minutes after the upload, which it's still at 50% all this time later. And then this person says with 112 updates, saying it was the same last time he was on. Like I said earlier, they had Hassan on the podcast about 2 years ago, and this is it. No, they were not received the same. In fact, with 2.5 million views on this video, they only received 7K dislikes. The current dislike number on the latest episode is already over 15,000. Double on only about 200,000 views. So about a tenth of the views, but double the dislikes. That's crazy. And of course, the ratio is completely different. 76,000 likes, 7,000 dislikes. It's about a 90% like-dislike ratio versus the 50% from the latest episode.
The difference that time makes. Because this was before the controversy. This was when everything was in high good spirits. Leftists could be able to say, damn, look at all our himbos. Our himbos are shining. They're clean. They're rich. They're paid. We're up, guys. We're up.
Obviously, things have changed. Anyone claiming, oh, this was expected backlash, well, not to them. This was not as controversial as people thought. This was back, like I said, about 2 years ago. Not as many people had such a hostile view of Hassan. And over the past year, there's been so many exposed videos and things that have come out of the woodwork about him. People are very angry about him, very hostile towards him being involved in any sort of space they like. And I think this is a real demonstration of that. And I think the people on the podcast, the three guys here, they grossly underestimated how much people have a hostile view of Hassan. And I think Hassan is unfortunately realizing that, man, outside his own bubble, a lot of people really don't like him. He's flabbergasted by the number of negative comments. And of course, we're talking about YouTube and Reddit so far. There's also Twitter. So Trash Taste posted this clip from the episode, which people are criticizing this take from Hassan, but I think the bigger focus is how people are receiving him as a guest. You can see here, really disappointing that you guys are platforming this hateful piece of crap on an anime podcast. This will affect if I watch your content in the future, which really disappoints me as I like you guys and have been a supporter since the start. I don't have an issue that you brought on this political joke, but why delete comments? And you can see that was eventually debunked. Expect him to blame DGG again for all the backlash. Man, Trash Taste fell off if y'all brought on Hassan. Obviously discussed here with 4,800 likes. You guys are so gross for platforming this loser, LMAO. Y'all support terrorists now, whack, unsubscribe, and it goes on and on and on. You can't find any positive comments whatsoever. But there was this other point made in the quotes here, which is another conversation about this choice of guest. This person says, guy who shames people for liking Lolly is on a podcast funded by the corporation that publishes Dragon Maid. You'll love to see new reasons to pirate anime. Now, I just think this connection between the view of certain fictional content and having him as a choice of guest on the anime podcast here with these particular hosts is insane hypocrisy. I've had the
Realistically, for them, it's not the matter of the hypocrisy. It's the tonality. It's the duality of it. You say that you're against supposed Zionists and terrorists, but basically you're asking for top-down decision-making that makes you look like it's only okay as long as it's not your problem. It's only okay as long as you don't have to think about the problem. It's only okay because you aren't being put in the situation to have to care about the consequences that come from it. It's only okay because as long as people aren't aware of your background, they don't have to think about you, they don't have to say anything about you, they don't have to consider it a problem, a mistake, a choice. In any one such context, it's not that big a deal. It literally doesn't matter. Literally, who cares? That's all they're really calling out. It's probably the more annoying part, but that's hypocrisy for you. That is hypocrisy for you.
Displeasure of Hassan and other content creators have had the mispleasure as well as being labeled a predator live on his stream over topics involving anime. And now he goes on to Trash Taste, is sitting there next to people like Giguk and the Anime Man. Like the Anime Man, for example, for many years, his favorite character from anime, his waifu, was Shinobu Oshino. And now he's sitting buddy-buddy with them, and there's, you know, like even some of the figures behind him would make him a hypocrite by his own standard he's used to chastise people he doesn't like over fictional content. I think it's incredibly hypocritical. And if you want to, you know, hear that word grifter, right? People throw around grifter all the time. I can't think of anything that actually kind of applies to that. Then saying one thing is so bad in terms of fictional content that's largely focused on in anime is this terrible, disgusting thing that makes you a predator, and then going on a podcast with people who consume that stuff and acting like everything's okay. That seems incredibly disingenuous. But we would see some quotes trying to defend this whole situation. This person saying their Nazi fans are out and loud. Oh yes, the Nazis who just don't like a guy because of horrible shit he's done and said over the years. And he responded actually by saying, I don't think it's all organic Trash Taste fans, to be honest. So he's not even saying it's a complete misdirection. He's saying, well, it might be some of them, but I can't say it's all of them. I got lots of weirdos roaming the web recently. It's okay to correct the record, in my opinion. They get away with saying a lot of totally ridiculous things. Everyone is capable of making up their mind if they simply watch the stream. Yes, isn't that a crazy thing for him to say? They get away with saying a lot of totally ridiculous things. I can't imagine somebody who's done that and gotten away with it for years and years. The irony is absolutely unreal. And then, how does he respond to this latest controversy where many people are focusing on the fact that he has been a terrorist sympathizer and showed propaganda on stream? You know what he does in response? He decides it's going to be a good idea to make a terrorism propaganda tier list on Twitch.
This is just rehashing shit that we already know. But it goes with the news story.
Watching them is because Twitch, unlike any other social media platform, has a rigorous application of their own terms of service.
Not for you, buddy.
I've actually thought about potentially doing like a tier list reacting to that stuff again.
That stuff, huh? Yeah, that stuff. What he's referring to is terrorist propaganda, by the way. But he knows he's in the wrong. He can't even describe it properly, so he calls it that stuff. Well, this whole situation is a gigantic mess, and definitely, like I said, big miscalculation by Trash Taste here. I think they grossly underestimated how negatively people would receive this video, and yeah, there's really not much else to say about it. We'll see if they respond in any further way about the backlash, but until then, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Realistically, it's just Hassan doing the same shit he's always done. Getting upset, crashing out, blaming other people for his problems, saying that it's all the Dollar structure, it's all the Dollar structure. Damn you, Destiny, 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 Destiny. In this case, he's not immediately screaming Destiny because technically Destiny, well, because literally Destiny had nothing to do with it, but just blaming anything on him, but in this case, he's being vague instead of just being explicit. Which then brings us to your boy Tectone! Like the biggest hater of motherfuckers on the internet. We'll call Jabina the Hutt to her face. My king. My lord. Tectone dropped his response to Asmongold leaving OTK. Talking about various topics such as him defending Asmongold, and the fake nature of streamers, and predicting some dramas, as well as to explain to him, or rather explaining how Lakari, Nut, and Asmon were the first ones to hit him up when he was accused of the Pink Chew shit, and all the other things that was done in his video. We're just going to go straight to the VOD source.
What, 4, 5?
It is 1 hour, 32 minutes, 59 seconds long. Let's get it.
Maybe even half a year since I left OTK, and I never really said anything, but I do think I would like to start now. I'm going to go through my entire history of my experience with the org, and then I'll open it up to questions that you guys have. How's that sound? Leaks? Of course, man, of course. I'm the guy who always leaks. Leak the OTK parties? Absolutely. Maybe I should also leak. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. I was about to lie for fun. So let me take you guys all the way back to the beginning on how I joined OTK. So in case you guys don't know, 3.5 years ago, I was one of, not the largest Genshin Impact streamer, but one of the largest channels on Twitch. I'm not going to say who, but OTK was considering a couple of streamers from the Genshin Impact category. However, they thought that I passed the vibe check and that I was actually good to talk to and that I wasn't a fucking loser. So this guy called Rich Campbell started coming into my chat and started talking to me. And I was like, oh, okay, who is this guy? He started telling me that his analytics were low and that he needed to be my editor so he could make ends meet. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I look into him, he has a couple followers on Twitch. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll at least humor the guy. Because, I'll be real. There is a certain nice of calmness of mind that comes over me whenever I'm talking to someone who at least gets views. That way I know they're not talking to me just to get views. It is a certain, it's like a difference in the world, right? When you have something to gain, I'm a little bit hesitant of talking to people who have something to gain from talking to me. Or at least that's how I was back in the day. These days I'm pretty much down to talk to whoever. So Rich and I talked maybe once or twice. We played a game of Among Us, and then all of a sudden he says, hey man, I want to get into a call. And I say, get me into a call? Okay, sure, let's do it. And I get into a call with Asmongold and Tips and Rich. And I'm not going to lie, I fanboyed out a little bit. I'll be real. I've been a fan of Asmongold since I was in probably college. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. I used to watch his guides on how to be an elitist and how to ninja loot. And some of those videos were things that I implemented into my raid leading and my guild leading experience in World of Warcraft myself. In case you guys don't know, started playing World of Warcraft in the alpha. Actually, when I was a wee baby. I didn't really know what I was doing, but my older brothers taught me how to play. Around Burning Crusade, beginning of Wrath of the Lich King, that's when I started to raid lead and guild lead myself from about 11, 12 years old. And I did so consistently all throughout Legion. That's when I stopped playing the game. I did a little bit of BFA, but BFA was pretty shit. I think the last raid I really tried was Mythic Nighthold, and that was a lot of fun. But that's kind of when I said, okay, my tenure of MMOs, I kind of just don't want to play anymore. I'm good. But it was a lot of fun. I got catfished. I raid led. I got told, I had to pretend to be a girl so I could get into a raid. And I was a young kid, so my voice was high enough. And then older men started getting weird because then they thought I was a girl. And, it's been a whole history since then. But anyways, yeah, love Asmongold. Yeah, they said they wanted me to invite me out to the OTK 1-year anniversary party. And so I say, holy shit. All right, let's do it. And then I get informed about an org called OTK, and I'll be real, I didn't really know what it was, but because I'm a nice guy, I'm a little bit of a people pleaser back in the day, I was like, oh, OTK, yeah, I know what that is, that's awesome, super cool. So I get invited out to the OTK 1-year anniversary, and I start meeting a lot of these people, the Mizkifs, didn't know who he was at all, but I knew that it was important to him that I did, so I pretended that I was like, oh, dude, Miz, huge fan. Great to meet you. Oh, my God. Then I saw Seer. Now, Seer wasn't in OTK yet. Later that day, he actually gets announced to join OTK, but I actually knew him because I used to watch this other creator called Onision when I was a kid, and he was in a couple of Onision's vids, along with a creator called like Swift Karate Chop. And I was like, oh yeah, Seer, bro. I remember seeing you back in the day. You were fucking hilarious. Onision's a little bit weird to talk about these days, but I'm just being real about the story that I was going on. Anyways, I started getting swarmed by tons of other creators. The Botez sisters were one of them. Pretty much all of the top streamers were there.
14 months.
Anybody who was a top streamer was there. It was great. I think I met E-Rob there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken. I think...
There's so many names here on this list that either I recognize and they're no longer serious content creators, have just left, were banned, or literally I have no context. I'm not just sitting here letting him talk for nothing. I don't have anything to add. I don't want to interrupt him.
Emmy was there. No, yeah, Emmy was there because I remember the party was going on. I kind of ignored everybody. I'm going to be real. I didn't really want to do anything with anybody because these are a bunch of people who I don't know, and I wasn't really interested in getting to know any of them, to be honest. Besides this one guy who just wouldn't stop talking to me because he heard I was a wrestling fan. And this guy was a sweetheart. This guy was so nice, and he was sitting there playing his guitar, and this guy's name was Jay the Bard. And pretty much it was just me and him sitting, talking about wrestling, talking about anime, talking about World of Warcraft, and I pretty much did that for like 5 to 6 hours. And that's pretty much all I did at this party. I played a little bit of Jenga. I got heat stroke. I almost won like the sports competition, but I got heat stroke. And I was so socially anxious. I got naked by myself in a bathroom and laid on the floor to regulate my body heat because I thought I needed an ambulance. But besides all that, I kind of just went to the OTK 1 year anniversary and chilled out with Jay. Didn't talk to any other streamers. Said hey to Asmongold, say hey to Miz. And then I went back to Canada. Well, then I get into another call, again, with Rich Tips and Asmon. And apparently Jay was really good friends with Asmon. And apparently they liked that I wasn't around trying to talk to every other streamer and network and connect. And they thought that my vibes were immaculate. And they asked me to join OTK. And I said, holy fuck, I'd love to. They also let me know that if I did want to join OTK, I would have to move to Austin, Texas. Now, here's the problem. I had a wife at that time who was bound to Canada. So I had to figure out on how to buy a house in Austin. And I had to figure out how to get my wife at the time down to Austin. And here's what I did. To make sure that I could get her down there, OTK allowed me to let her be employed by the company. I said, I cannot join OTK unless you give my wife a job. So they get her a job at OTK. We get stuck on the border for 3 weeks. And then something worse happens. I have to get a house, right? I had $500,000 in my bank account. Okay. And I was like, all right, I'll put a down payment on a house, but I'm short $300K. And Miz says, oh, you're down money? How much do you need? I say, I don't know, like $300K. And he's like, all right, I'll just lend it to you. I know you got money. I've seen your analytics. I know you can get me back, dude. And I say, oh, okay, hell yeah. When do I need to pay this back? He's like, just whenever you're good for it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So Miz lets me borrow $300K. Was great. I was like, all right.
The amount of... This is an unreal, obscene amount of money that nobody decided to really sit on top of your head of. Really demonstrates how the earliest streamer class, compared to now, or at least the guys, setting up for shitting on Odinion later, they legitimately did not care. It wasn't a question of money. It wasn't a question of attention seeking. It was just vibes. Are you cool, bro? Can you vibe, bro? Are you ready to do some shit, bro? That's it. That's all they cared about. That's all somebody like myself would have cared about. That's all they cared about. Nothing else mattered. As long as that was what we were talking cash money. It's like, bro, don't worry about it. This is what we'll do. It's good. It's whatever. Don't worry. You will not find this in any of the people that still exist now. You will not find it. It doesn't exist. Every single broadcaster is quid pro quo with money in hand. If they don't get a benefit from it, they don't get involved and they don't care. And it's heartbreaking. This is also a little bit of the early days of streamer houses and collab culture. I think at the time that this happened, he had just started getting involved with the overall world system. It was pretty straightforward, as great as it could get, and this would be when it would start to fall rapidly. Hello, Buster. It'd be when it would start to drop and fall rapidly.
Won't take out a loan, because I could have just got a loan and paid for it, but Miz was like, oh, no, I got you. So he lends me $300K, and I buy an $800,000 house. My bank account literally goes to about $4K, which is pretty much as close to zero as you can get, and I assume that I'm only $300,000 in debt. And I'm like, okay, I owe Miz $300,000. Well, then I get moved down to Texas, and content's going pretty good. I join OTK. I debut on a Thanksgiving stream. I'm like this fucking Grim Reaper guy. Chad had no idea who the fuck I was. I got who Megalod like crazy. But the reason why I was asked to join OTK is because they wanted me to bring in viewers who actually didn't know me. So them not knowing me was actually exactly what they wanted, as well as my audience not knowing anybody who they were. Because all of my audience said, who Megalol OTK, and all of their audience was like, who Megalol Tectone, right? It was great. But that went really, really well. Get settled in. I live in my new place, and then I realize I get hit with two envelopes, and it's from the IRS. And I thought, because I made all of my money in Canada, that I didn't have any taxes. But what I didn't know was that the way that America works is, if you're a resident of America and you make money in another country, not only do you have to pay tax to the country that you made it in, you also still have to pay the tax of Americans. Double tax. Because I had already paid off my tax for Canada, but I did not know I had to pay tax for America as well. And the amount of tax that I owed was $800,000. So I owed $300,000 to Miz, and I owed $800,000 to the government.
Just normal Kekistanian things, you know? Just normal things from Mapleville. This is completely normal, and it is not a tax scam. If you say it's a tax scam, we're going to put you in jail. Lol, what?
$1.1 million was I. And so I had an idea. I said, I'll just do a subathon. Okay? I will just merely do a subathon and try to put a big dent into the debt that I owe the government. And then I got told by Miz, he really needs that money back now. So money that I was expecting to pay him back in about a year and a half, I then found out, oh, he wants it back right now. That was really, really, really fucking scary. In my marriage, you guys know how marriage goes, okay? Because people would say, right, and I'm just being real, if you were in a marriage, you usually know this is how it goes. The breadwinner's money is our money, and then the other person's money, well, that's just their money, right? That's the type of marriage that I was in. So I didn't have anybody who was going to help me out pay this $1.1 million. I had nobody to help me with this. I had nobody. The amount of stress that was on me was fucking immense. If you check my analytics, if you check my hours, if you see the sponsors, I shit you not, every single day, I was working minimum 18 hours. I shit you not. I was working so hard back then, always streaming, always networking, always making money to get out of debt. I legit lost my hair. I'm not going to lie. You can check the VODs for yourself. That is when I lost my hair. On a combination of COVID, on a combination of overworking, I'll show you this myself. It
Bold, 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 bold.
looks all right, right? It looks all right. But if you check the back, there's nothing here. There's nothing. It used to make me sad. It used to make me sad. But then I realized I lost my hair because when the world was attempting to fuck me over, I said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to win in spite of everything and everybody. Pretty much nobody believed in me. I will be real. I will be real. I mean, the OTK debut absolutely flopped, and I want to make this absolutely clear. I never gained increased viewership from OTK. Absolutely not. The content I make just isn't for that audience. And to be honest, I tried going down that route for a little bit, but I mean this generally. When I tried to appeal to everyone, I was miserable. I wasn't happy. And I think it's very important to say, when you make content for everyone, you're making content for no one. And that's why I really enjoy what I do now. Fast forward a couple years, we're going to come back. I make content based on what I like for the people who like it. To me, my community is everything, and they've always been everything to me. And to be honest, I picked up a couple new viewers from like Asmongold's chat, maybe the Anime Man's chat, a little bit of Trash Days here, a little bit of soda pop in there, OnlyFangs, maybe a little bit here and there, maybe like an extra 400 viewers. But if you check my subscribers, they're pretty much 4-year subs or they're 1 or 2 month subs. And that's because I played a game called Limbus Company, and those are all the new viewers. And then all the old frogs are here from like fucking Genshin, Honkai, Arknights, Ulala, Summer's War. Any gacha game that's ever come out that's worth a damn, I've played it. And if I haven't played it yet, I will eventually get around to playing it. But I was stressed. And let me tell you, when you owe Mizkif money, that shit is fucking stressful. That shit stressed me the fuck out so much. I'm gonna be real. I prioritized paying Miz first over the government. Because I was tweaking. I was like, damn. Because when you owe him money, it's miserable. It's fucking miserable. And even worse, his chat would come in and say, yo, give him his fucking money back nonstop. And I'm like, oh God. Because then I would have to, like, you can go back to the clips. Pretty much anything Miz needed, I would have to do immediately. Based on who I am. You know, I even went over to his house and shaved his legs. My wife sometimes would go over there off stream and bring him snacks and like clean up a room or two.
Live-in streamer slave? Tech what? That's homosexual. That's really homosexual.
And it got to a point where I was just like, okay, I just don't want to do this. So I paid him back immediately. I do a subathon. And during this immense amount of stress, I find out that something was happening behind my back. And what that is, it is not the internet's business whatsoever. It is not the internet's business. I don't need anybody to speculate. It doesn't matter. Okay? Don't speculate. Don't think anything. It doesn't matter. Something was happening. And it put a lot of pressure on me. And it stressed me out quite a bit. I had an uncomfortable conversation with a person on a stream that was broadcast to a lot of people during a very uncomfortable, very angry part of my life. And it made the internet fucking hate my ass. Even more so because the Genshin and Arknights community were already looking for any reason to shit on me in any way they possibly could. And it was terrible. It was absolutely awful because I knew that I was getting shit on for something that was completely justified. But the problem is that this new audience didn't want me because they wanted somebody else to join OTK. And as well as this whole crowd of people where I said, fuck Arknights, I don't feel like dealing with it. Because their community manager was racist towards me and I didn't want to play their fucking game. They're like, oh, okay, now we're going to justify our hatred because look at this guy being a fucking dickhead. Yeah. There was a huge LSF thread on it. Because I wanted to protect people who were very important to me, I make a comment completely owning up to my actions. And I never specified why I did that until a couple of days ago. But to be honest, I kind of just don't want to talk about it. It's a very uncomfortable part of my life. I don't like thinking about it. And yeah, I'd rather just move on, to be honest. I really would.
I have no context what it is he's talking about. I don't care to know.
Rather just move on. But essentially, it became a pattern since then that any way that I could be shit on for anything was taken at every single opportunity. let's skip forward a little bit and let's talk about Rich Campbell. Rich Campbell got removed from OTK for some things that I don't even know if he did or not. I have no idea. I've never got clarification on that whole ordeal. At first, I was told that he was guilty, and now 2 months ago, I'm being told that he's innocent, and I don't know what the fuck to think. But regardless, Rich got removed. And that was when all of the hatred went OTK wide. That was pretty much the worst thing to happen to OTK ever. Because now OTK was known as that org that has a bunch of sexual assaulters. Yep. Pretty much fucking terrible. And the other problem is that Rich was the punching bag of the org. Rich was the punching bag of the org. Once he left, well, I filled in his shoes. Any butt of the joke was me. Every single fucking time. If there was a shot to be made, it was at me. If there was a joke at someone's expense, it was at me. Every single fucking time. I had one opportunity, where I had two choices. Either play into it or completely destroy my mental health. I said, well, I guess I'll just be the bad guy then. Out of sanctity of my own mental well-being, I said, okay, I will be exactly what they want me to be. I didn't have a name. For what I was named back then. But fast forward till I meet a person called Bonnie, and she called me Dick Tone one time on stream. And one of my own chatters, Plain Noob, who's probably here right now. Plain, are you here? Plain, you're here every stream. Yep. Plain is the guy who made this emote. This was during a Bonnie variety stream. And thus, Dick Tone was born. It was either become Dick Tone or be a little bitch and cry about every joke that was made at my expense. You guys got to understand. Back when I first joined OTK, I was scared. I was insecure. I had pretty much as charisma as a paper fucking bag. The only way I knew how to be entertaining was by fucking screaming. I had no idea what I was doing. I got into an org way too early, way too quickly. And I was like, okay, this is my role. This is my job. I did a little bit of professional wrestling where I did play a heel by the name of York Glory, as well as Bojack. And I kind of knew how to be a bad guy. I kind of knew how to be a dickhead. So I said, okay, I'll do what I know. I'll just be a fucking dick nonstop. And a lot of that stuck. And to be honest, I was kind of the heel of the gacha community already. So it was kind of easy just to kind of play that role. Me just trying to fight to survive. I eventually did that subathon. I got enough to pay Mizkif back. And in that subathon, I think I made around $600,000 to $700,000. I pay Mizkif back. I send all that towards the government, but I still owe them around $300,000. So I just keep grinding. Yeah, the subathon was incredibly successful. And yeah, I kind of lose myself for a while. This was probably around the time there was a content creator called Atsu. And Atsu was essentially making my life a living hell. One of the people I consider my best friends at the time, called Goose Egg, moved in with me. Things were really good. And then Atsu started subtweeting us, saying that we were pieces of shit. Dude goes after my marriage. Other content creators start going after my marriage. Just being full disclosure, before me and my wife got divorced, I had already tried to be separated for about 3 years, multiple times. We both were unhappy, but we were so codependent that we kind of just stayed together because we didn't know really how to live without each other, right? Because we were very reliant for everything. You know, I would provide all of the money, and she would help me with, well, my tech issues. And I didn't know how. I did not know how to stream. I did not know how to stream without her. I'll just be real, okay? I did not know how to stream. I did not know how to go live. It was pretty much, I take care of everything in our lives. You make sure I can press the go live button on stream. I'll just be real. There's a reason in that car clip I say, I do this, I do that, I do this. And then she says, well, I help with the tech issues. Because that really was our marriage. I mean, we weren't even having sex, guys. We weren't even having sex. It was literally just, she was kind of like,
I didn't even know that.
my engineer. And then I would take care of everything. I mean, that's. I mean, you can think whatever you want. That's pretty much what it was. The divorce was going to happen eventually, and it was the best thing to happen to both of us. It was a very good thing. It was a very unhealthy relationship. We still treated each other pretty well, but we had a lot of resentment towards each other. Also, streaming and blowing up on the internet was just a huge toll on our fucking marriage because, you know, obviously, like, you know, you're in a relationship, you're both normal people, then one of y'all starts getting blown up, and, you know, this person's doing really, really, really well, and they become like a figure on the internet, and the other person's like, well, why isn't that me? Right? That caused, like, a lot of issues, but don't worry about that.
But isn't your wife not a content creator? I don't see how that'd be a problem unless she was a content creator and then she was jealous of your success. Which wouldn't make sense either because she's married to you. You would be successful together. That's a really weird thing to be upset about.
That's in the fucking past. Who cares? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Atsu starts making my life a living fucking hell. You know, he gets my roommate to be fucking suicidal. He gets me to be fucking suicidal. My wife is even more miserable than she already is. And, yeah, you know, I attempt suicide twice. Yeah, I mean, this guy made my life such a living hell. And there's so much context on the internet. You guys have already heard it. The only reason why I'm still here today is because, well, when I went to go kill myself, I was in my house in the, you know, in the OTK neighborhood. And I just finished a stream, and it was miserable. And then my vision starts blurring. My head starts going crazy. I start seeing faces on the walls. My body hurts. My heart's going 200 miles an hour. Even thinking about it really fucks me up. I apologize if I cry. I'm a little bitch at times. And I'm going to go into my bathroom. The bathroom where I went to take the advanced GG bath, where I almost OD'd on caffeine. That was where I was going to kill myself, was in that bathroom. And then there's Eggy. And Eggy is just such a fucking screamer when he's hungry. And this cat is fucking screaming at me. Where is he? This cat is just fucking screaming at me. Because when he's hungry, bro yells. Bro yells loud as fuck. And I say, well, if I don't feed you, who the fuck's gonna? Yeah, things get a little bit better. Sorry, my memory's hazy, because whenever I think about that, my memory kind of just starts jarbling. I might be misordering a couple things here and there. That happened, and I re-grounded myself, and here we are today. I'm alive. Spoiler, I didn't kill myself. Anyways, let's fast forward a little bit. Goose moves out. We all know what happens. Me and my wife finally get our divorce. That was, and I know people are like, oh, it's a divorce, it's so sad. Guys, I promise you, it was such a necessity. It needed to happen. We were both so fucking miserable. It was unfucking believable. It was great. I truly, it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, we separate, is what it is. I get all my debt paid off. I'm pretty much good. I'm accumulating some income. Jay the Bard recommends me to talk to a new girl. I get into a new relationship with that. Fast forward another year. Oof. Oof. Shouldn't have done that. Bro says, yo, I know this chick from VR chat. She's super nice. You should talk to her. And I say, sure. Oh, she is pretty nice. Why'd she go from here to all the way down here? Why does she... How are you like this, and then how do you become that? Over and over again. It was a lot. I didn't really know what to do. I was a guy where I was incredibly codependent on a relationship my entire life, and I pretty much don't know how to function without being in a relationship. I will be completely honest. Since I was 16, the amount of days that I've not been in a relationship is less than 3 months. I truly don't know how to function outside of a relationship. Because I am not a guy who does things for myself. I'm not. I'm a guy where I have to do stuff for someone else. I love making it my purpose in life to take other people's problems and solve them.
True. Big real. Big feels. Been there. Done that. Got the scars for it.
I love taking other people's grief, absorbing it, and fixing them. So I am naturally more attracted to people who were broken. because I liked being the one to fix them. I liked providing for them. In my marriage, I paid for everything. Okay? In my old relationships, I paid for everything. Absolutely everything. And guys, don't romanticize that type of idea, because it's not good. If you are in a relationship and you are the sole breadwinner, when your other partner can provide, they need to. They need to. Fuck that, dude. I was a simp. I was a loser. Fuck that mentality. It's completely self-destructive. Do not be like that. But that's how I was. Now, I have gotten a lot more respect. And I'm now like, okay, we can both pay for shit. We can both work. We can both help each other. I'm not just going to be the guy who fixes everything. I'm not going to be the guy who solves everything. But that is how I was. It's kind of like on Christmas. I was the guy who loved giving presents. When I got something in return, I was like, ugh, that's weird. I don't like this. But it's been a very unhealthy part of my life. And that's why, you know, in case you guys don't know, a lot of people think that, you know, I've only been in 2 relationships, but since I was 16, I've been in about 9. Now, 7 of those women will tell you that I was the best thing that happened to them. 2 of them, whoa, I'm not going to say which 2, but yeah, either they say I'm gotcha Jesus or they say I'm gotcha Satan. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We're still like 8 months past the last one of Jesus Christ. But it is what it is. Yeah. It's just because you don't want them anymore. Well, I'm not going to speculate. And to be honest, I'm really just, I would just like to be left alone at this point. It'd be very nice. But, you know, the last one said a lot of shit. They did. They said a lot of shit. And it was, you know, at the time, it was really bad. But now it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because now I realized I was in a sport full of OTK, and I saw all these people who were being negatively affected by me because one person can say one thing about you on the internet, and now all of a sudden, all these people who I barely knew are now getting shit because one person wanted to go and lie. And I just thought, is this really the life that I want to live? And I had the opportunity to renew my contract.
One guide, broken heart.
True. I had the opportunity to renew my contract. And I said, you know, I really just don't think I should do that. All I said was, hey, please make my exit as quiet as possible. I don't feel like sending any more negativity to you guys, because I realized that I am going to live a life where no matter, and guys, new viewers will think that I'm pity partying, that I'm being a professional victim. But if you guys know, for any long-time viewer of me, for anybody who's been here for well over a year or so, you guys will know I get shit constantly for doing fucking nothing.
Well, that's not exactly true, Tectone. Did you have to respond to Frogan? Probably. But did you need to call her like Frog in the Hut? Probably not. You didn't have to do that. That was fun. That was a treat for you. That was a treat for you. Justified crash out. But that was a treat for you. Shame. Shame on you. Shame on you. I get it. I understand. I'm there all the time mentally. But damn, bro. Damn. That's crazy. You would do that? You would go out there in the world and you would lie. You would lie for clout. I joke. But no, seriously. It's probably one of the few things that is really for sure when it comes to, you know, the bro, I don't do anything, what the fuck they say fuck me for type moments. Doesn't matter who it is, you're gonna get annoyed when people do shit like this. Because really, quite frankly, people who do it probably most often are probably individuals who need to be reminded, hey yo, I don't do anything. So the moment that I pipe up, you should probably be concerned. So, like, for myself, when I'm with mutuals like Amy, or Poe, or Jay, as I've mentioned before, I don't actually like being the loudmouth braggart. Very, very rarely will I ever be the one to step up and say it. Mainly because I will just signal to them, hey, yo, this is some crazy shit. We should probably get the fuck out of here. And only when it's necessary that I use my voice am I going to be the one that does that. Otherwise, it's not about being the center of attention. It's just about having everybody on the same fucking page and making sure everybody stays on that same fucking page and that we're all working together on that same fucking page. You know, just normal type shit.
The people who I help the most fuck me the hardest. It is the tale as old as time. The majority of people who hate me in 2025 were the people who I helped the most in 2023. Hence why I got a nice little brand of sacrifice. Shout outs to Guts, the second best MC in all of anime and manga. But I'm just like, all right, well, this is my life. I will continue living with all of these people saying that I did this and I did that. And while it's very easy for anybody to understand why these people say these things, it's just as easy for people to understand how to disprove these. However, if the internet doesn't want you to move on, if the internet doesn't want to exonerate you, then they're just not going to do that. Who's the number one? Tortefine, Vinland Saga. I'm going to be getting a Tortefine tattoo pretty soon as well, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to get the probably the Mark of Brimaz right here on my wrist, which I'm stoked as fuck about. Over the course of OTK, I want to say I've had some of the happiest memories ever. And as much as I want to say it was because of the org members,
I hear talking outside my window. Give me a second. Give me a second. Every single time, it seems that every delivery person that drops a package off at my place by UPS is always on a conversation, yucking it the fuck up about something that just has them dying fucking laughing every time. Who knows? Anyways, man, that's crazy. Unironically saved by the pussy. Insane.
it wasn't. The people who I enjoyed the most, and I'm going to get pretty deep and personal here, are the staff. I love the staff of OTK so much. So much. They are some of the kindest and hardest working people I've ever met. Oh, I don't mean to be a bitch. Sorry, guys. That's the part of OTK that I do miss. Is I do miss the staff. I don't want the fucking "Hey, are you okay, man?" Discord messages. I'm good. Oh, Jesus. I just haven't really talked about that. The reason why I have such a soft spot for the staff of OTK is, I'm just going to be real. A lot of streamers are just not good people. They're really not. And when I left OTK, almost all of them reached out and said how much they liked working with me because I actually talked to them like they were human. And that's a rarity in the streaming world because a lot of people don't respect the people, and they're not the members of OTK are very kind to the staff. They are. But I was I would go out of my way. I would invite them to go out and do things. You know, I would make sure I would talk to them before every episode of Steak and Eggs. Sorry, this is so bad. I'm an emotional guy, guys. Sorry. Please don't megalol at me. Call me a pussy. I'm fine. I just have a very big soft spot for the staff of OTK because they're very kind. Tips treated me amazingly. Yeah, Tips treated me amazingly. You know, like, I'll be real. Like, without the staff, OTK is nothing. It's just not. Really, they were like Jacob, a genius, good at everything he does. Jay made steak and eggs such a joke. Young Jeff, holy fuck, he is so good at organizing Twitter, taking photos for social media. He was so good, and he's so fucking funny. People like Nell, who was just amazing at coordinating brand deals. Some of them sucked, but I'm not going to name them. I don't feel like shit. I'll be real. There was a couple members of OTK staff that weren't doing fucking anything, collecting a paycheck for no fucking reason. But besides those guys, a lot of those guys got fired. It is what it is. I'm not going to say all of them are good, but a lot of them were really, really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I'll be real. OTK was so dumb with their money. It was crazy. I mean, holy shit. Overemployment was insane. They were hiring fucking anybody to do anything. I was like, man, bro. Y'all really got money like that? Fast forward to now. No, they did not have money like that. That is going to bite them in the ass. But I'll be real, and let's just be let's be completely genuine here. 2025, and this is what people don't get. Going after OTK, going after Asmund, going after Emmy, you're not hurting them. Let's just realize, you are helping Asmund every single time you make a hate thread on him. Straight up. You are. The only thing that anybody is hurting when they make these threads on Asmund, when they make these threads on OTK, the only people you're hurting is the staff. That's it. Nobody else. When OTK falls apart, every single streamer is going to be better off than they were. Every single one. Miz will be better. Emmy will be better. Asmund will be better. S-Fan will be better. Seer will be better. Will be better. The only thing OTK is a means to give these employees a job and a means to give their communities special events. That's it. OTK is nothing more besides a shit ton of responsibility. And that's why I get a little bit affected, because I know there are now, unfortunately, a lot of people who weren't doing shit lost their job, which is deserved. If you're not carrying your weight, I don't feel bad for you if you lose your fucking job. Okay, I just don't. But the problem now is, now there's a lot of good employees that are probably going to end up losing their fucking jobs. Now, I believe that these people are so talented, they'll find employment elsewhere. Oh God, I didn't even thank Finn. Holy fuck, I'm retarded. Finn is a genius, by the way. Finn, dude, without Finn, that org is fucked. There is no cameraman like him. His artistic direction, his humor, his wit, his personality is unlike anybody else. That guy was a genius. I mean, I did a podcast with that guy for about 8 episodes. That was scrapped. Feels bad. Is what it is. But that's fine, to be honest. That turned out being a good thing. But that guy's a fucking genius. It just kind of saddens me, because one of the big reasons why I wanted to leave OTK wasn't really because I was inconveniencing a lot of the other members, because they're going to be fine. I just didn't like having the staff to have to worry about job security. And I didn't want to be the reason why they lost sponsors. I just didn't. I can't tell you how many sponsors I did for free just to give, a means to keep the lights on at OTK, a means to be able to pay their employees. I think maybe I did 9 in 2024, 9 sponsors for fucking free, just because I want these, because, an org needs fucking money. We need to be able to pay our employees. Mm-hmm. And I was only I wasn't even an owner. I was just a fucking worker. I don't care. I mean, it was a passion project for me. And
ultimately, the biggest problem and the biggest downfall of streamer orgs was that in the days when the streamer houses were being established, and not specifically the esports ones, but the type of brands for regular, everyday involvement. So not something like OTK, but something more like Team Liquid, Team Solomid, TSM, Dignus Haas, whatever that team that was owned by Lucius Fox was, Echofox? The idea of somebody who is not an owner of the brand, like George, who was the owner of Counter Logic Gaming, CLG. For someone like George to be who he was and doing what he was trying to do for his org and for his players and for his friends that also were players and were also associates and were also stockholders, copacetic. Make billions and billions of dollars together with your friends. Literally, who cares? You have infinite money glitch. Literally, you never run out of cash. Nobody's ever going to be concerned. You can do no wrong. Blase, blase, blase. For someone like Tectone to do what he's doing, that is basically like having a goon in a military organization that cares so much for everyone that you gotta be concerned, like, hey, is this your secret love child? Like, why is this person so... Why are they so prepared to, like, crash out? Like, what is this to you? What is this to you? And... You just... It's a different world. You won't get it. It's a different world. You won't get it. It's really hard. It's a different world. You won't get it. To understand, you gotta really just... You gotta have to have been there. You have to be in the moment with it. This is the level of intensity that I would talk about shit to. Where I'm frustrated with the fact that there are people who don't see the vision and they don't understand how it all works together, the synchronicity of, I like this person, we make good content together, I want to continue making good content. It's not about the views, it's not about the subs, it's about the fact that I can just be my fucking self. Parallel play with other people who you don't fucking know. Be able to enjoy yourself in your time talking about stuff. Conversation flows easy, flows well. You don't have to be concerned about every single word that you say and every single thing that you're saying. You don't gotta worry about somebody trying to clip you out of context just for the humor of tee-hee-hee, I do a little funny. Nothing makes it up. Nothing can ever get to really how core that is to the experience as a whole. It's really hard to really put it into words and describe it, but I'm trying to do my best. Like, the amount of effort that I've watched good projects and good content just die because the only person who gives a shit is considered to be the biggest joke. The biggest coverage of shit. And nothing can get done. Because if they're not involved, might as well not say anything. Might as well not do anything. Around them, the entire thing sits on their shoulders. Just around them, on their shoulders. It's the only time.
Feeling like I can contribute to, these people that I love very much, it made me very happy. I mean, I want to be real. A lot of people want to come at me and say, well, how was your experience at OTK? How was your experience at OTK? Guys, being completely real, like, besides having to pay Mizkif back, it was great. But, well, pay Mizkif back that fast. I still am eternally grateful that Miz lent me that money. However, I wish he would have told me how quick he needed it fucking back. Because I would have just gotten a loan from a bank. I'm going to be real. Right? I would have just gone to, like, any bank and just gotten that money somewhere else so I could pay that shit back in 2-3 years rather than fucking 2 months. Right? Still, it was a great gesture. But, God, that shit was stressful. It was so stressful. But it is what it is. Yeah, and I don't think it's Miz's fault either, because I'm pretty sure he got fucked as well. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got fucked as well. I'm pretty sure Miz was in debt too. It was just very unlucky. Very, very, very unlucky. Once again, I'm not blaming Miz. The situation fucking sucked. Right? Let's go down the fucking members. Let's write down every experience. We'll get into each personalized thing here. Let's get this one out of the way, because I know people are gonna want this one first. Miz and I were really fucking tight for a while. I would go over to his house. We would play games at night. We would play like Mario fucking Tennis. It was awesome. It was awesome. Along the way, things got a little muddy. I'm not gonna lie, things are probably still muddy to today. I don't really care. It is what it is, but Miz was good to me. All things considered. I mean, obviously, he would make a lot of jokes at my expense. Sure, I didn't appreciate him insinuating that I was a pedophile. That was fucking weird as shit. But other than that, it was fine. You know what I mean? Like, we were good. We stopped being good, but I don't hate the guy by any means. It is what it is. Next up, Emmy. Emmy was one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my entire life. She was awesome. Great to talk to. Still is great to talk to. One of my friends, absolutely. Just really nice. Pretty much not a bad bone in her fucking body. She's not a bad bone in her body. Then there's fucking Jay Slat. Jay Slat was the fucking man. I will be real. I cannot believe OTK did not mend the relation with Jay Slat. I miss that guy so fucking much. He was the fucking man. I also heard rumors that he might have been coming back and then it just never happened. Which really fucking, oh man, that pissed me off. He was so cool. I remember he would invite me over to his house. I would play with Jambo. I would teach him how to raise a cat better because he knew I had 5 cats. And yeah, no, he was dope as fuck. Slash behind GamerStop's right? Yeah. Yeah, no, he was awesome. Yeah, Sear was great. Sear was always very kind to me. That being said, when Sear goes to talk to you, he gets right in your fucking face. And that was like, ugh. Back the fuck up. You are in my personal space. Like, bro has to be talking right here. So sometimes I'd be a little bit uncomfortable because he gets very intense, but I love Sear. Great guy. Very good dude. Asmon, and hey, you know, I'm going to say it again. Asmon is one of the best people I know. Not just an OTK, not just, I'm gonna glaze this guy so fucking hard. Guys, I am about to glaze this guy so fucking hard. And I want to make this very clear. I don't glaze Asmon because I get a raid from him. I want to make this perfectly clear. I got 3 raids by him in 2024, and then I got maybe 2 in 2023. Okay? I'm not getting raided. I'm not doing this shit for clout. I'm not doing this shit because maybe he wants the roaches in his chat. I fucking love this guy. He's genuinely the fucking man. Guys, I mean, if Asmon never streamed, I would not stream. Every single issue I've ever had with anything, he's talked to me about everything. He's provided me guidance on everything that I ever needed. Never asked a single thing in return. Okay, that's not true. He has said, hey, it's all good, bro. Next time you come to Steak and Eggs, bring me a Dr. Pepper. And I said, of course. And every now and then I'll bring him beef jerky. He's a great fucking guy. Genuinely. And I'll be real, guys. I think the guy is criminally overhated. Criminally overhated. He is the man. Always has been the man. One of the most positive influences on my entire life. And I don't care how good of a PR move it would be to try to bury this guy's career. I'm good. I don't care how good it would be to distance myself from him. Oh, you're really going to interact and talk kindly about this guy? But didn't you hear what he said? I don't care. Okay, I'm from a military family. I live in a world where people can just say shit and you don't have to be a fucking pussy and a bitch about everything. These people on the internet hold people to such high degree. Whenever they say or fuck up on anything ever, it's pathetic. It is. Unless you're attractive, in which case Hassan gets away with everything because he looks so cute. Because he's so handsome. Look at his boyish charm. I do think it's absolutely hypocritical how anybody says, oh, you're associating with Asmon, what the hell? Oh, Hassan? Oh, that's great. Hey, you know what's crazy? When I met with Hassan too, I said, hey man, good anime takes. We had a great episode of Steak and Eggs. It's really not that hard to get along with people that you don't have similar viewpoints of.
It's so easy. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's literally one trick, and every person in the world hates this man for explaining how simple it is. But it really is just as simple as, hey, you don't have to do all this extra shit. But it's the sheer fact that there are so many people, the first thing they fucking do, every time, is push. They push the line, they get annoying, they do the most extra, they can't handle not being the center of attention, They make it about themselves. They make it so that everybody has to know, has to be aware of, and has to be fucking held to the mercy of shit that they want to be concerned about. And you're just like, you know what? It's not worth it. I don't care that much. Fuck them. And every time, it's because, yeah, but they want to do it for clout, so. I'm certain, removed from all the context of money, and this is for every content creator, not just for Hassan or whatever bad person you want to use. I am very certain that for every single content creator, all we'd ever have to do is just sit down in a place where there is no camera. And literally, all of the problems, poof, gone. Every time. Belief to this day, I remain unconvinced that it's not the case. Every single time. Remove clout, remove money, remove the interest of other parties to control how you choose to talk about people, how you choose to go places, how you choose to do this, do that, this, that, and the other. Literally, it all changes. It would all change in a heartbeat, as long as there isn't a camera. As long as there isn't a camera, the behavior would stop immediately. But because death by association, cancer, sheer cancer, sheer cancer. What makes it more cancerous is that Twitch promotes the behavior. Before, we wouldn't have known about the slacks and about the truth of the matter being that, yeah, leftists rule the platform. Fucking leftist Redditors control the platform, and they also encourage the correct kind of conversations and the correct kind of associations based on who's talking and who's associated to whom. But even before then, just by the behavior of regular content creators and regular people associating, they pushed this even far back since then.
But the problem is people are such pussies. They just want to go after who you're friends with nonstop. It's so hypocritical, right? Also, I fucking stubbed my toe this morning. Thanks a lot, Destiny. Anyways, okay, NMP. NMP's the fucking man. He is. I have never...
Hassan's one and only black friend, that who matter whoever and wherever and whatever he is involved in, he just has the brain on his head to realize, oh wait, that's bullshit, and doesn't let it happen. The amounts of times that he's just never, ever, ever let someone just trick him into supporting stupid shit, no matter if it's Hassan or one of the Twitch e-girl streamers, never once has NMP ever been so silly as to just let himself get caught up in something. Never. If before, he's never allowed it to stop him from just asking basic questions, especially when it came to the terrorism takes from Hassan. Every time.
Never had a guy tell me more harsh truths in my whole life than Nick. Nick would tell me the shit that everybody else was too afraid to tell me. He would, and I really respect that in a person. He is a bitter pill in a fake-ass world, which I really appreciate. Nick reminds me a lot of myself. I really respect people who can tell me the shit that I need to hear, not necessarily the shit that I want to hear. He was a great friend. He is. Nick said Teggy's a pussy? Great. Even better. Finally somebody told me that. Will, absolute beacon of sunshine. Ooh! Will was a key... Will played a role in a key moment in my life, which was... this is also thanks to Miz and Will. Will came to Camp Canute Season 2, and he kind of stole the show. He did. Every single time he was there, he's the guy. He is the beacon of light and hope in every situation he's ever been in. He is. And no matter how hard I was working, I knew I could never outwork Will Meth. And Will encapsulated and overtook all of Camp Canute Season 2, that played a big role in me not getting a single medal, a single trophy in Camp Canute Season 2. And I mean this genuinely. I have never been more bitter, more resentful, more angry in my whole life. When I left Camp Canute Season 2, and I was the only member who didn't get anything. Nothing. They even did the calculations wrong on how much weight Jimmy lost and how much weight I lost. I lost 2 more pounds than Jimmy. And Jimmy still got biggest transformation. I was there early every single stream. I was there late every single stream. I did additional workouts with Wake and Canute off stream. Nobody else was doing this. And when I didn't get a single medal, when I didn't get a single trophy, I didn't get a pat on the back. I even gave all the judges and Miz a present for them. I gave Wake a watch, I gave Canute a golden heart, and I gave Miz a customized Funko Pop that he never took home, by the way. He left it there. Miz fucking left it there. That was, at the time, the angriest I've been. But it was the best thing to happen to me. And that is a common principle in my life. Everything that I think is bad always ends up being good. It always ends up being good. It lit a fire underneath me so hard where I said, okay, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove all of them wrong. And so now, before Camp Canute Season 2, my PR was a 1 rep max of 225. And as of February 21st, my 1 rep max is 275. And now my goal is I am going to outlift every single person in that camp. And before July, there is going to be a clip of me on the internet bench pressing 350 pounds. Not once, twice. Do you want to know why I'm going to lift it twice? Let's go, Mizzy!
You go for another one?
I'm going to do what Ms. Kiff could not. I have not missed a day at the gym since Camp Canute Season 2. I have been dieting and watching my figure every single day since Camp Canute Season 2. If there's...
That right there. That's haterade energy. Yes, sir! That is hater energy. He's a king, just for that alone. If you know that nothing got you, hating a nigga and being petty as fuck got you. We will lose the argument, but we will be swole as fuck when we do. I will lose the argument, but you ain't gonna be able to call me a fat fuck. That's great. That's wonderful. Oh, that's great and wonderful. I might end up being cringe, but you can't tell me I can't steal your image. Real shit. Real shit.
Anything that motivates me, it's how much of a bitter, petty bitch I am. And I am going to outlift everyone.
And I love that he just owns it. I love that he just owns it. Yeah, yes, absolutely, I'm an asshole. Yes, sir, I will be that petty. I love it. I love that for him.
And then I am going to start taking boxing. Yes. I am going to start taking boxing. And from there, I'm going to start beating up other streamers. I'm going to get incredibly strong. I'm going to get incredibly in shape, and then I'm going to start beating people up. Let's talk about the next member. Bruce. Bruce, drop him off. Me and that dude were legit
best CC
so good.
And look forward to another
we would
6
check in on
months.
each other all the fucking time. We would talk. We were good. And then all of a sudden he just started hating white people. I still don't get it till today. I still, to today, don't get why he hates white people so much. I don't get what the fuck all that was about. Who's Bruce? Bruce, drop him off. This very funny black man. I still don't, I still think he's cool. That's the problem, man. But when he said fuck all crackers, I was like, man, what the fuck did I do, bro? I thought we were chill. Is there any other member of OTK that I'm forgetting? Oh, Soda. Soda's great. Soda was always nice, very cordial. No matter how many hate threads he got me, he was always kind whenever we hung out. Extra Emily's good. Yeah, not really much to say. She was always sweet. S-Fan, I mean, we had a good conversation when I first joined OTK, but I'll be real. My interaction with S-Fan was pretty much zero. I'll be real. Like, I pretty much did not interact with S-Fan at fucking all. Rich and I were cool until, well, you know, what happened. And then never heard from him again. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Yeah, my experience with OTK was a good one. It was. It really, really, really was. I had a lot of fun. I mean, every day was good. But I will say,
it just goes dark there for some random reason.
cool until, well, you know, what happened. And then never good afterwards. And I'm down to answer anything.
Yeah, it just literally blacks out there in the on that part.
Oh, Senna? Okay, you guys can ask me specific relationships afterwards. And I'm down to answer anything. But I do just want to wrap this part of the story up and just say, OTK was a lot of fucking work. It was a lot of responsibilities that I did not want to fucking do. And to be honest, life has been much better since I've left in every single regard. Analytics, money, relationships, happiness, success. Everything has been better. But I don't regret OTK at all. It was great. It was fun. It was just a lot of fucking work and it was a lot of stress, but it was worth it. I think I learned a lot about myself. I was mentored a lot by some of the streamers in that fucking org, and I don't regret it at all. I could sit here and tell y'all that OTK is shit, but I don't have any reason to do that. I was treated with respect, and they were good to me. You know, they were good. It's fine. I really do. I think it's fine. And one day when OTK shuts down, I'll remember it fondly. To be completely real. Okay? I want to wrap that part up. And now I want to give you guys some time. You guys can ask me any question that you have whatsoever that I did not answer. And I mean, any single question you have, I will answer anything. What's going on with this? What's going on with that? What do you think about this? But I just want to wrap that up because a lot of people have been interested in what happened with OTK, what happened with me. Was it a sex cult? No. And that really disappointed me. Did your weight loss help you with your ED? Yes. Absolutely. Getting in shape makes my dick work a little bit too much. Now I'm coming 3 times a day. Does Asmund still own a part of OTK? I'm not an owner, so I don't really know the ins and outs of that, but I would assume probably, but I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't. But yeah, I have no idea. Do you regret going into OTK? I regret how I went into OTK. I mean this generally. If I just took a loan rather than taking money from Miz, it would have been so much easier. I really should have just taken a loan from the bank. But an unfortunate that was the worst part. That was the biggest misplay. Everything else was great. A lot of OTK content seems forced. That's because it is. It absolutely is. I will be real, guys. There's a lot of things that the members don't want to fucking do. Right? Why do you think I was in everything? Because I was one of the members who actually liked hanging out with everybody and liked doing things. Mm-hmm. I loved steak and eggs. I loved doing the events. I loved being the guy that people could rely to be there with a smile and not bitch about it. Unless it was Camp Canute Season 2 because chat was being fucking miserable because Jesus Christ, Mrs. Chat hates me. Yeah. Yep. Noodle Shop. Noodle Shop was fucking awesome. I loved that podcast. Worst and best memories with OTK. Worst memory was probably when I thought Miz was dying. That was OTK Anniversary 1. Miz was like pale-faced, looked sick, and he told me he thought he was having a heart attack. And nobody was paying attention to him. Nobody. Nobody was even looking at him because everybody was busy networking. So I take off my shirt and I put it over his head. And then I sprint and I get him a bottle of water. And then I had some medicine in my pocket because I always carry around medicine in my pocket. And I force feed him like 600 milligrams of ibuprofen. And me, Emmy, and Asmund just sit around him and try to make sure that he's okay. But we were really afraid for him. This was way, way, way back in the day. That was OTK Anniversary 1. That was really scary. I was very worried about him. Best memory of OTK? Every single day I did steak and eggs. Yep. Every single day. Loved it. Every time I got an opportunity to talk to Emmy and Asmund, it was the best. Loved them. But it was a good memory. It was a good time. But yeah, I think steak and eggs is probably wrapping up pretty soon. Yeah, every week. Yeah. What was the best content you made with OTK? Steak and eggs. It was awesome. Or Loot Goblins. Loot Goblins was gas. Loot Goblins was gas. Thoughts on Lucari? Lucari is the fucking man. Oh yeah. Lucari is the
I just
fucking
got
man.
kicked in.
Notice how many people inside of OTK are crossovers and are relevant inside of the fucking OnlyFans drama. Hopefully this puts into context to you what he is saying about his personal experience inside the organization.
The dick by ads right after you said that you force-fed him medicine.
Yeah, Lucari is one of the realest streamers in Canute, or not Canute, in Austin. The realest streamers in Austin are probably Lucari, Canute, Asmund. I would say those are the top three, for sure. Like, realest motherfuckers in Austin. Lucari, Canute, Asmund. 100%. 100%. Like, those are top three. Nick's great, but he ain't top three. He's like top five. Fakest? Fakest streamers in Austin? Fakest streamers in Austin. It really depends on what you mean by that. Let me give this with specifics on how they're fake. I think Poke is probably one of them. No, Poke's for sure one of them. Because he'll just say one thing to your face and they say something completely the opposite behind your back. Which is really frustrating because I did think me and Poke were cool, but then apparently he just starts shit talking me on the internet. I don't get why. I still don't get why. I just don't get it. Right? And I didn't even say anything that crazy about him back, and he's just freaking the fuck out, and just screaming my fucking name in like 7 clips that I've seen already. I don't get what's wrong. I mean, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, it's probably the drugs and the mental illness, but like I don't fucking know how else to describe that. Yeah, not Mr. Pokey. Yeah, Pokeball is a different guy. Yeah, a lot of people think that I'm shit-talking Pokey. It's Pokey, not Poke. I never once called him Mr. Poke. God, just fucking, guys, I like Mr. Pokey. Fucking fuck off. Probably Miz, too. Just because that guy deals with so much shit behind the scenes, and he doesn't bring any of that on stream. But, like, that guy, god damn, I feel bad for him, to be completely honest. I mean, that dude just, he deals with a lot of shit, guys. Some deserved, admittedly. He has a lot going on. He still does a very good job of somehow turning on that camera with a smile on his face. I don't know how the fuck he does it. Yep. Who else? Oh, and whenever he's asked for his opinion, he just says, oh, no, chat, what do you think? Oh, that's what you're saying? I agree. But come on, I mean, that's just streamers. Yeah, I don't really think it's that bad. Sorry, picking the most fake is really hard. Like, the most fake. Because the other thing is I've kind of forgotten. Give me some names in chat. Give me some names. Because I forget who lives in Austin because I just don't interface with them anymore. Hassan's not even in Austin. Yeah, like Mitch Jones is one, but I would have just completely forgotten his name because I just forgot he fucking... Mitch
Jones is not a broadcaster. He is a lolcow that gets remembered every so often when people have to remember, oh yeah, Mitch Jones. The bitch that thought he could, but couldn't, and never would, and never can again, and doesn't.
Exist. Yeah, for sure. Mitch Jones, for sure. Bag Jones. Wake, I have too much respect for Wake to ever want to shit talk him ever. I know he was kind of going off on me on Camp Canute season 2, but I kind of don't care. I mean, Wake could literally say, fuck Tectone, I hate that guy, he's a piece of shit, he's weird. He could call me anything. I really don't care. I will never shit talk Wake. Ever. Yeah, no, that guy was there for me way too much during one of the hardest periods of my life. I don't even give a fuck if he hates me now. I still have so much respect for that guy, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think his political views are just a little bit goofy, but I mean, who cares, right? Who cares? Cinna's kind of always been a straight shooter. The problem is that I'm trying to think who was fake with me. I mean, I guess the only person I would really think of is probably just Pope, to be completely honest. I don't really watch anybody else's content, to be completely real. I don't really watch any of their content. The Miz one was kind of just me just fucking shitting on Miz because it's funny. Probably just Poke. I don't really watch any streamer in Austin at all. To be completely, I don't really watch Twitch at all. So it would be hard for me to tell you who's like this off stream, who's like this on streams. I just don't watch them, right? I mainly watch LA streamers and gotcha streamers and anime streamers, right? Like if you want me to shit on LA streamers, hey, I'll do that shit all day. You know what I mean? But Austin, it's like it's whatever. Yeah. What about Milena? I ain't gonna lie, I hated her. I hated her, bro. I hated her ass. Good Lord, I hated Milena. I'm just being real. Oh, man, I fucking hated her so much. It was crazy. That's real shit. Oh, my God. When I wasn't invited to fucking Wild West, I was so angry. I was so pissed. I'm not even gonna shit with you, bro. That shit pissed me the fuck off. Yep. Oh, bro, that chick hated me so much. And you want to know why she hated me so much? Just because she saw that LSF hated me so much, and that's it. And she's like, oh, well, I don't want to ruin not getting an LSF clip, so I can't invite Techie. Oh, my God. And guys, once again, please don't clip this and put this anywhere. It's just not necessary. Right? But, yeah, no, why the fuck would I like Milena? She was fucking awful to me. She was legit fucking terrible to me, like, the whole time. It was like... If I, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. She treated me like shit the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever LSF was saying, she would just pander to that. That's fucking it. Like, what do you want me to say? And I'm like, LSF's #1 enemy because, let's go through the list here. They think I was mean to my ex-wife. And then, oh, dude, this guy doesn't like Miz, which means we don't fucking like him. And then, like what else? I heard he likes lollies. Just, like, not fucking true. Like, you ask LSF for a reason why they shit on me, they can't give you one. And they'll say, yeah, guys, we don't have a fucking reason. And
yes, pretty much. I've complained about it before. The fact that people who do not watch broadcasters pretty much proliferate the same drama around those broadcasters thousands of times over. And the only reason why it sticks is because, we can make it go viral. You cannot hate Redditors, and you do not hate live stream fails enough. You can't hate Reddit, and you cannot hate fucking Twitch-addled LSF users enough. You can't. You cannot. Unironically stream terrorists. Unironically stream terrorists.
And they try to listen, and it's all bullshit. Right, like if anybody were to look into any legitimate reason why they have distaste for me, if you say loud, annoying, bald, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But they say, he's done all this horrible shit. No, I haven't. Just shut the fuck up. They're just looking for a reason to shit on somebody because it farms up dudes on karma. And that'll never change. Because if you say Tectone bad on that website, instant 1,000 up karma. Legit. Yeah. Anything else? Same thing with Asma, by the way. You say Asma bad, ooh, 10,000 karma. Anything else you guys are wondering about? Thoughts on Sunny? Bro punched me in the back of the head and acted like he won that boxing match. Hey, Sunny, fight me again. Fight me again. This time I will not hold back. Absolutely not. Fight me. Get in the ring. Get in the ring with me. That shit pissed me the fuck off. I literally was behind him. Didn't throw a single punch. I got behind him 3 times, never threw a punch. He gets behind me once, punches me in the back of the fucking head. And fuck Bryce for saying he won too. Fuck them both. Nah, hell nah. I want a rematch, bitch. Alinity and Fandy. I'll be real. I really thought Alinity was going to be a miserable bitch. But now she's just like real nice. Yeah, I'll be real.
Considering that she has to work for Jerkmate, I imagine there's a reason why she's nice now.
hated the Lindy's ass ever since that cat throwing clip and that feud she had with PewDiePie with the copy strike. But now she was real nice to me in real life. And I think that's the common thread for a lot of people in Austin is that we all think that you're going to not like a Lindy, but no, she's actually really nice. Yeah. Fandy, I also used to think was really fucking boring. But then I just realized she just has social anxiety, and she's also really sweet and always very kind to me. Yeah, got nothing but love for Fandy. Bonnie sweats a lot of the small things. She does. Bonnie sweats a lot of the small things, and it's stressful a lot of the times. But other than that, Bonnie was one of the sweetest people in Austin to me. I love her very much. Bonnie is very sweet. Yeah. Very fun. Who was your top 3 on OTK top streamer? Mr. Fimple should have won season 1. That's for sure. Yeah, Mr. Fimple should have won season 1. Yeah. And then, oh, dude, Arav. Oh, my God. Arav, dude. He's the man. Arav and T10 Nat. They're goated. They're goated, man. They're goated. What's my opinion on Catchy? Oh, Sebi's also great. Sebi's so cool. Thoughts on Catchy? You saved him? Yeah, I know. My thoughts on Catchy. I would say Catchy is fake as fuck. Yeah. Now, Catchy definitely is fake as fuck. Because she would go live and act like this, like, psychotic, dumb bitch. Right? Like, just fucking horrible. But then you meet her off stream, and she's like, "Hi. Yeah, nice to meet you. Oh, it was so good hanging out. Yeah." Like, she's so nice off stream, but on stream, she's such a bitch. Right? So I think it's way better. I'll be real. I think her.
More or less. Let me see if there's anything else.
And I just said, hey guys, like, question. Is there anything? Literally anything. Oh, I'm probably gonna make a card store too. That. Or yet, I'm on episode 13. It's fucking amazing. Why would I want to do that? Guys, I'll be real. There's like just...
At this point, yeah, he's just recapping shit. That's pretty much the best and the most that we can probably get out of all of that. So, sum up. OGK, full of some people who are decent, surrounded by some people that are completely fucking cancer. And the majority of most of the individuals who made the platform cancer were all the fucking streamers that were in it for social media coverage. And now, it's my favorite fight. Oh, where's my thread? Where is my thread? Endymion. Here we are. Okay. So, bouncing from that to this, I'm going to tie this into this take here from Endymion TV. So, you just heard and saw an explanation from one of the org streamers from his time and his experience involved with them about how stupid, dumb, and annoying most content creators are. Right? Right. So, that's from the Poggers community. Let's look at a member of the WL community, which is Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat's out here making multi-million movie dollar extravaganzas about his gameplay. Right? Look at this. He's put out a trailer ad about him playing a series marathon of the Batman Arkham series. Oh my god. I can't believe that a streamer's putting in this much effort to get people interested in the shit that they're doing. Oh my god, it's so crazy. On the back of this, Endymion. This is what I'm talking about. Female streamers like Pokemon and Senna are just complaining. They're nobodies. Just complaining nobody watches while they sit in their rooms complaining about not enough donations. You need to actually see what a Kai Cenat stream looks like. I'm going to show you. Hi, Pascarl. Everybody say, Pascarl, you look beautiful. Look at him. Look at him in his majesty. Look at him. He's so annoyed. Wave to yourself, Carl. Wave to yourself. Damn you, Pascal! How could you betray me? You bastard! I trusted you. They trusted you. We trusted you. Anyways, we're on an ad. So first I have to wait. Unless I can just go to his VODs. If I go to his VOD, it's easier. Okay. This right here is what Kai Cenat stream actually feels like on a regular day basis.
Bro, sleeping all day make me feel like shit, like not getting nothing done. It depends.
And also, let me get the chat in the side here.
I don't know how, like, you are, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you are different. You can smoke and operate. That's fire, bro. Like, that's so tough.
You think that's crazy?
Bro, what? That's like a superpower.
What, smoking and, like,
operating.
Man,
like, you dead ass can do both. Me, I get stuck.
You feel lazy off of weed?
Yes.
I hate.
I'm sorry to tell you. It's just niggas! See, I would say I'm gonna clip that, but you see, I can't! I can't clip that so I can edit it later. Thanks, Hassan! It's just niggas. It's just NY niggas, and they're staring at the chat room. It's only 7 minutes into the live stream. It's on followers only. They are constantly looking at and reading the chat while having a conversation that niggas have. They're wearing dollar store costumes with maybe a little bit of cosplay work here and there. Nigga in a do-rag and some dreads. It's like a black interpretation of a Slim Shady music video. That's this is a Kai Cenat stream. See, the clips of a Kai Cenat stream is not the same thing as the stream itself. Sure, he's about to start up. He's supposed to be doing a marathon. He's got to sleep at some point. Look at how quickly the chat's going by. This is not a live stream. This is not something that allows you to actually be able to diegetically say you're a part of a community. This is niggas sitting outside of a zoo, watching to see something viral happen, and then spam that shit everywhere possible. This is like a living mine of resourcing clips. This is the inject my brain into the Coom stream. I don't want to have to think about anything. The funny black man did something funny and bombastic, therefore I'm entertained. The funny and bombastic black man said as he stared into the camera with contempt. Still, it's just niggas. That is a Kai Cenat stream. The marketing for it is like watching at peak time, forgetting name, Dr. Disrespect. It's like watching Guy at his best before getting involved with, the allegation shit. No one would have cared. No one really technically does care for Beam. It's just, it's one of the guys that's playing the Twitch shooter genre. Therefore, he's one of the beloved ones. He should be looked at as impressive and important because, hey, this guy, he's the guy who plays the video games your sons and daughters are addicted to. But at the end of the day, in terms of culture, there is no culture in this. I'm going to scroll up and hold one section of the chat, and I'm going to read it back to you. Deadpool crazy. That nigga fly as fuck! Facts! Exclamation point prime. Facts! Cosmic Superman. Why? Deadpool has killed the Marvel Universe multiple times. World Destroyer Hulk. Breaking the fourth wall it's called. Bro! Call Spider-Man. Break the fourth wall type shit. On God. JJ Lobo. Facts. It's called fourth wall. Tap in with me, I can tell you the truth. Deadpool legit killed Sherlock Holmes now. Like if you cut your hand off, it would grow back. Captain Marvel. Facts. SSA. Deadpool can't beat any mutant with mind control. Facts. 6, 7. Thor killed him. JJJ. He's the only hero. No, he ain't real. Shut the fuck up and show us the next cave and shoot. This is not a community. This is not a community. It's not a stream. It's just a mob. But if we on some real type shit.
Hell yeah. But ready? I'm gonna need you to hold it down. Chat. Popcorn. Pack your shit. We gon' hey, I ain't gonna lie. You gonna like the next one. I'll see you soon. Alright, y'all. Lock in. Robin, it's on you today.
This itself is in itself a worthy clip. Hey yo, my multi-million-dollar stream where I make money just by sitting in this chair, be entertaining, nigga. Truly, the best of Twitch shit. Because this is your alternative. You can either have the WL community full of a bunch of niggas that like video games, or you can go over and look at the most popular game air quote, on the platform, and you can either have this, or you can go to DeBoff's stream. What's DeBoff's FF's currently doing on his stream?
I'm the first person
he's playing Scion again for the 50 billionth hundredth time.
Know what to expect.
What does his chat room look like?
I did know what I
as
wanted,
we're stuck behind the ad.
like a path that expands my horizons, where I can step outside of my comfort zone and have the
This
chance
ad
to
brought
learn
to you
more,
by the U.S.
see
military
more,
and Twitch.
and do more
You
than
know,
I ever
we are
imagined.
definitely going to have a person be supportive
Turns
of
out this
our
guy
enemies
keeps exceeding
online
my
everywhere
expectations.
else. But you know what we finna do? We finna put today's military on top of a league streamer. People who don't know service, whether or not they were to hear it from a fucking serviceman. Anyways, you can have this, or you can have that. Either you have somebody whose job it is to play a video game and they have to either be at the mercy of the people in the fucking community that they play with, basically regurgitating the last thing the streamer said, or a bunch of people talking about fucking nothing. Because otherwise, nothing ever fucking happens. This is the platform many of us used to call home. It's sick. Also sick play to boss. That was a sick play. What a crazy flash play. This is the internet! This is the internet. So, whenever Endymion, from now on and into the future, ever says some shit like, this is what I'm talking about, level up, I want you to know what the fuck he's saying you need to level up into. Anyways, back to roasting his ass. This is what I'm talking about. When female streamers like Pokemon and Senna are out here complaining nobody watches them while they just sit in their rooms complaining about having not enough donations, Kai Cenat out here is making entire videos of himself as Batman fighting Deathstroke and getting people hyped. Like, bro, you gotta level up, man. Three things, actually. One, stop comparing the Nepo Baby streamer influencer class to every other broadcaster on every other platform. You cannot compare me to this. Yep, we're on the same screen. You cannot compare me to Kai Cenat. You cannot compare me to the Boffs. You cannot compare me to higher level content creators. You can't compare me to mid-level content creators. You have to be based on the people in my field and the people I associate with. Because you're not about to say that me and Jay on a stream is not fucking cash money. You're not about to say me at the mercy of whatever bullshit I'm being forced to suffer through horror is not cash money. You're not about to say me in my element with a bunch of people around ourselves just having a normal conversation isn't cash money, depending on the people who are participating in the conversation. You cannot tell me the idea of the shit that I come up with is not banger opportunities. Because coming up with concepts, being able to pump money into those concepts, and then being consistent with them is not the same thing as leveling up your content by throwing money at an After Effects shit. Said it on Sunday, repeating it here. We will never have the amount of influence, and we will never have the amount of monetary income to throw at the wall to make infinite money. We have to spend money to make money. We're not made of money. He is literally made of money. He will never not be able to make money. Because broadcasting today, for some people, like Endymion, and others that behave like him, especially when they're cold posting, because it's easy targets, they will never understand the effort that it takes for organic growth, because they don't do it organically. Really, nobody technically does anymore. Everybody has to do it through collaboration and effort. But it's not just collaboration with people at your level, it's collaboration with people who actually end up spotlighting you and then shouting you out. Not everybody's looking for an easy payout. Some people want to earn the position. They don't want to just be brought in just because, hey, I know a guy who knows a guy, or hey, I'm fucking this guy, or I'm fucking this girl, and we're going to give them a career so that I can be able to bring them wherever I want to, because I want my friends and I want my personal family to be influenced in my culture. No. We don't have the ability to call up our friends and say, hey, Ludwig, can you and Cutie platform Frogan, despite the fact that she's an irrelevant content creator, and just pretend that she's important so you can hate another person across the internet in another sphere of influence? That's number one. Number two, there is a separate argument about women streamers complaining that they're not in control of the zeitgeist and doing basically the equivalent of an old hag trying to compete against the younger brand of influencer, trying to keep attention on them and monetize their pipelines to keep themselves from having to work a, quote, normal job. And there is a separate conversation for shit like this. When you lump the two of them together, when you say, haha, you guys are so jealous of niggas at your same level, no. Pokemon's jealous of Kai Cenat because she wants to be able to have that level of income. She wants to have that level of views. And she can't control it. She wants to be able to just sit there and do nothing and play video games without having to be involved. Pokemon, she has to leverage what she has available. Because, and this is number three, female streamers, and when I say female streamers, I need you to understand me. E-girls. Female streamers are not the same as male streamers. Because while all women have to deal with the fact that beauty, attention, and breasticles makes up a lot of people's attention and makes them feel like, no, you know what, I'm not going to stream on camera. I don't want people to look at me as a sexual creature. I am non-existent. I'm an ace in the hole. You will also have men that completely ignore the obvious truth, which is that the way that people choose to watch broadcasts are different than others. So, going back to Kai Cenat's stream, looking just at the chat room alone, I can tell you for certainty, the majority of the content that they produce is for a male audience. Women, if they are there, they are not actively watching streamers like this. They're not. They don't find this entertaining. You know who they find entertaining? They find people like Oz Mercanti entertaining. They find people like Ashley Roboto entertaining. They do not care for, and they do not want to watch this. Because I can show you right there on the bottom end. You can't see it because it's cut off. But right here it says, tonight Cenat viewers also like watching Jinxie, Agent 00, and Feel Sunnyman. This is a person who associates and is with T-Pain in MPL right now, learning how to drift. This is IRL shit. They'll watch this. They'll easily watch this. You know why? Because there's a lot of content. There's a lot of opportunity for fucking ability to get to know people. There's a lot of ability for you to be able to feel like you're getting to know someone in a way that you otherwise would not. Technically, the fucking ad that's playing on screen, you're more than likely to be the ones to buy into the fucking ads that are going up. And you will be able to build a community around knowing way too much parasocial information about people. Then, from Agent 00 viewers, it then suggests you Adapt. Adapt is a CTE streamer that plays in the FaZe house. Gillette! The best a man can ever get. So I guess it's an Nivea man. Are you an old ass nigga? Buy our age defense advanced serum. But yeah, FaZe house member. People who care more about the amount of money that they make than the shit that they're involved in, they're not watching these streams. Let's go to another one. Let's go to Marg 3. Marg 3, sitting in a streamer room, talking to a bunch of people, getting mogged in the chat for his hairline. Voila! This man looking horrible. Where did he go? They don't watch this. They don't watch this. What they watch is they watch Ashley. Remember, Miss, I complain about the difficulty in my video game. She's playing fucking Minecraft right now. This is what they do. This is what they watch, and this is how they talk. Do you see how slowly the chat moves? Now, in context, she only has 352 viewers. I'm comparing the audience of somebody who has what we call a 3-figure Andy versus somebody who's a 4-figure Andy, 5-figure Andy, 6-figure Andy on special events. Because the Balfs, he's 20.1k right now. Kai Cenat, 64.4. NMP, I think it was 9 something. So, 3-figure Andy versus a 4-figure, 5-figure Andy. Easy match on their best days. This is what females will watch. It's nice, it's simple, it's cozy, it doesn't have all of the stress that comes with high velocity, high impact, reaction-based, dexterity-based gameplay. That's not to say that there aren't women that would be involved in it. That's not to say that there aren't women that would be interested in it. It's not to say that there aren't people who would get into it. It's not to say that there's not men that would get into it. Because that's to avoid my fucking point. My point is, do not say this dog shit here when this, myself, do a site click, Kai Cenat, the Valves. Let's use somebody who's known for doing one thing entirely, which is any bot. An any only player who only ever plays mid lane, no matter what season of league he's playing in. 14 fucking viewers. Or Dylan Burns. Or my nigga Minish Cap! Dylan Burns right now. Panel shit. Something that women will watch because they love to be involved in topics and talking points. Ukraine War Anniversary Panel featuring Ukrainian Anna. Or Minish Cap fucking proxying it up as fucking Singe. 47 viewers. 122 viewers. This being, of course, what you get now in the Twitch politics scene. Sucks for Dylan. Look even more like the guy whose initials are Austin Angel. What was that guy's name? It was a magician. Forgetting. Anyways. Enders, the guy that we had on my live stream that I had a debate about, ended up befriending him. Scenaris, 263, or 267. Shrik2G, 263. Tyler 1, right now, in Warcraft 3. I guess he's back on the horse. Pirate Software at 8.1k. In The Witness. All these broadcasters. From all the places they say, wow, he's playing a classic WoW. He's actually in the fucking RTS mode. But all these streamers, all these players, all these content creators, for all the shit they do not ever be stupid enough to think that you can compare her to him. Or compare myself and what I do to Kai. Or Kai to the Boffs, or Annie to Dylan, or Dylan to, I forgot his name, but let's just say his name is Hamir for the talking point of it. To fucking Minish Cap, to Enders, to Scenaris, to Tyler, to Pirate, back to the Boffs, or Kai Cenat, or Ashley Roboto, or any other woman that would suggest. So on the side here, Chris Melberger, Hello It's Colo, Cheebs. You cannot compare any of these content creators to each other and say, only women would say this, only women would behave like this, only men would understand this, only guys get this. Because look, a nigga playing Minecraft! He's a white nigga. But a nigga playing Minecraft! Then, a person talking about charity stream chaos in the aids of special effects, playing Sea of Thieves. Or, Nosferatu plays Minecraft. She's cosplaying. She put on makeup, went on to camera, and is trying to earn sub money for slugs. 5 gifted for slugs. The streamer world and the creative market is a very, very big place. I'm not live on my Twitch side because my VOD died in the middle somewhere. I love Mediacom. You cannot ever be so small fucking minded, to be so short-sighted, to think that the fucking influencer marketplace of clickbait YouTubers that jump in to be coal posters could ever be comparable to even just the broadcast ecosystem of Twitch. There are too many broadcasters. There are too many people. And you have to be so fucking unhinged as to think that you are saying something when you attack them. Nigga, you ain't me! I'll make the argument to make fun of the streamer females for being cringe. With me and my torpedo titties. Me! I'll be the one to make those talking points. You and Demion, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So sorry. Go back to reading your articles. You're not cut out for this world. Stay out. I'll hurt your feelings. Because really, at the end of the day, you can't gatekeep my fucking hobby. I will gatekeep my hobby. Because I know what the fuck's going on. You're doing my hobby incorrectly. And while you're doing my hobby incorrectly, you're giving people the wrong interpretation of what they should care about. Because it was never supposed to be about views. It was never supposed to be about views. It's supposed to be about real shit and vibes. That's technically why you could say that in the WL community, Wyckoff's not so fucking big. Not just because of the viral shit. Not just because he streams at IShow speed, who's willing to do something that women will not usually do. Technically, the only person I've seen do it was YouTube, and that was Superwoman doing, I guess it was a partnership. Horde probably knows more about this than I do. I just remember the video of it, of her with Stephanie McMahon trying to do something involved with the WWE. Only female I've seen do anything close to professional stunts, or wrestling, or acting outside of the Hollywood sphere of the YouTube to Hollywood pipeline. Kai Cenat will show up at the event and watch it, because, hey, he likes to watch wrestling. He likes to watch sick shit. IShow Speed will put his fucking body on the line. Say what you want about him, and how annoying he can be, and the shit that he does, and how he acts. He got put through a table. He got slammed on his back. He got fucking DDT'd in the center of a mat on top of the Prime logo. They are entertainers at the end of the day. Most of us, if not all of us, entertainers at the end of the fucking day. But you cannot tell me that you give a fuck and that you understand when you're more concerned with shitting on women than calling out lazy fucking content creators. Which is why I had a very big segment and went over all the shit that I wanted to complain about with Smash JT. Because at the very end of the day, most of us do the work. Whether or not you like what we do is immaterial to us doing the work and loving what we're doing. We wouldn't do it if we didn't like it. Some people are willing to do shit that they don't like for views, but you might find out and realize they're fucking miserable while they're doing it. You cannot convince me that people like Endymion understand and get broadcasting. Because they only get broadcasting because they are having what we consider the baby day years of Twitch culture happening in YouTube, where you have people fashioning cliques and deciding who will be platformed and who will not be. And the amount of power that they have for themselves that they currently take advantage of at this time essentially boils down to, I will not platform this person because they don't get views. If I don't give them views, then they're irrelevant. Haha, look at your sub count, look at your sub count. But they're not willing to do the work to keep up on them and to pay attention to them. They only care about what we can do for them recently. And it would be a lie if we did not consider that the reason why a lot... Damn, Julian. Why a lot of those conversations always circle around views and an attention and who's giving it. Because that's all they know. They don't understand real community because they never built it. They will fizz out and fucking die. It's just that they're not dying fast enough, so they need a little push. Holly, if you hear me. Personally, I'm really sick and tired of this particular talking point being used by people incorrectly. Because believe me, I understand why people will jump to this argument. But realistically, broadcasting and content creation has always been in the shitter. But much like yesterday, when people in chat asked me about how I foresaw the future of streaming and broadcasting content creation, this kind of attitude and talking point was specifically reserved for fucking size queens and content leeches. Now, that relevant argument was used by Tyler when he was flaming the entirety of OnlyFans for roaching on him in the raid. Because, imagine if instead I was saying shit like this. But, despite, in that alternate timeline, where Bizarre Universe Carl has all these people around him, pushing for him to improve and become better at his job, never took the impetus on himself to improve his content, never thanked his supporters and his friends and his associates for when they would do things for him they didn't have to do, never took in the onus to try and change shit up and try to shake shit up, never went out of his way to try and do shit, even if he thought that it might just be a shot in the dark and people won't really like it. Imagine, basically, a safe, bread tube-like copy of me whining about his numbers instead of actually making something of themselves. We usually reserve the argument for somebody who does that. You don't make anything of yourself. You get envy and jealousy. You have a Napoleon complex about your ability to grow. Why would anybody watch that? The answer is they don't, and that's usually why we make fun of them. That's why the insult of a X-figure Andy was made. You're just another guy on a platform full of all these people who are all trying to fight for discovery. Now, of course, this is a retarded fucking talking point because in order to get views on Twitch, you basically have to suck the dick of the community that you're involved in. And you basically have to grind and scrape and pray that somebody that has an audience notices you and gives you a fucking chance. But why would they do that? They're out for number one. Why would I help you on my way to the top? No, it's much better for them in their mind to use every person as a footstool and step on their heads as a way to jump to the top of the class. They are unironically playing a social media game of Fall Guys. Not just ensure and secure the bag for themselves, pull the ladder up behind themselves while they do it. Some was more about, it was a different time, it was a different era, and we could get away with things that we can't get away with now. People being able to get away with streaming MasterChef, getting away with pirating content from Viacom, getting away with just outright lying about what they were doing, and basically doing things like the guy that faked watching a pay-per-view event of the UFC and pretended that he was playing a UFC Fight Night. That, while funny and a part of the Twitch scene and the Twitch mindset, because Twitch set the pace on this. When it got to here, people became way too easy to use what we already know are stuck-up women and men who are selfish and care for no one but themselves to create content about their shit. This is why when I mentioned that Hishenshin was playing Path of Exile 2, I said a rapist and a sex offender is playing my video game, and I feel bad because he's actually making good talking points about the gameplay. Because obviously you don't want to give attention to people who do not deserve it. This, of course, comes with the checking of your audiences. You don't want to give air or breath to people who have demonstrated they are just bad people as content creators, because then you're funding their ability to do whatever it is they want. So even if they have loved ones they have to care about, you're like, no, but I remember when you fucked somebody over and it's time for just desserts. You know, most of Twitch lives by the basis of eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Because pettiness does indeed run the platform as a whole. And it's mostly because we all remember when we were small and we wanted to do shit and we were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and we were filled with hopes in our eyes. We remember when our hero or our heroes crushed us or disappointed us. For me, it was DM Brandon. But boy, the come up was great. The punishment was even better. The final punishment he was given to be banned from the game and just banned from irrelevancy and then spinning out into the coke delusions he's had was even better. And it all started from personal friends just exposing how bad he was at the video game he bragged about. Right now, in the Goober Day, we're stuck with takes like this from Endymion and others like him. No consideration to the culture. No consideration to the effort. No understanding of what it actually looks like and what they're actually considering. But just outright shitting on everyone in general. Because, hey, these are easy targets. Who's going to tell me I'm wrong, huh? The only reason someone would defend this is because they actually support them. And they think if they defend them that they'll get good attention. Hope they see this, bro! I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. So if you leave this broadcast today, if not for anything else, echoing my opinion yesterday, if at any time you ever question yourself or your favorite streamer or hobbies, if you feel that you're bored with what you're watching, find another content creator. Just go onto a platform and just click on those buttons on the side and decide, even though I know this person was supposed to be a lolcow because, hey, how do you get angry about difficulties in video games? Let me actually go watch their content and see whether or not they were talking about something that was actually important. Oh no, she tried to jump in the house and she couldn't hit the angle. Unfortunate. But just go to the content. Actually watch it. Learn who they are. Learn if they care about something. Find what they're passionate about. Listen to them for a bit. You might realize, wait a minute, these niggas were lying to me about you. And you'll realize over time, even some of the most cringy people, like Ashley themselves, might actually be okay, decent people. And removed from the drama at an event without ever needing to be punished for what they say in a conversation, where they're allowed to speak for themselves, you'll realize that actually they have something there that you might actually want to look at and watch. Same thing here. Same thing here. And here. And here. And of course with me. And even though most of the shit that is coming from and is talked about by people like Kais and that, as we're bouncing between ad to ad to ad, there might even be a reason for this too. Different strokes for different folks. Just like there's billions of different types of video games to be played, there are billions of types of content to watch. If not just on Twitch, if not just on YouTube, if not just on other platforms, if not just through illegal streaming and downloading of international or national television shows, but also of people that you can see on social media and microblogging websites. If you're ever fucking bored, there is literally no excuse for you to just simply ask your favorite content creator for their favorite streamers that they watch, either for education or for entertainment, and just go from there. Do not, under any circumstances, blackpill yourself, then become an annoying jackass like Endymion. At least in this moment on this take. He's not just wrong, he's fucking horribly wrong. Anyways, Unless something has literally happened within the last 15 seconds. I think that is literally everything I have for you. Actually, no. One more thing. Leon, my nigga, come in here.
I drastically hate when people who are...
So, I have beaten his ass. I've gotten... Pause. I have beaten his ass. I've gotten in his shit. Now, let's address the female in the room. Why do people hate Pokimane as much as we fucking do for her behavior? Well, let's look at the take that spawned these never-ending takes recently within the last month or so.
I drastically hate when people who are in good, lucrative positions start talking as if things are not fair to them or to other people, because when you hear them, they try to sound rational about it, but once you realize who it is and the way they're speaking about it and how they choose to go about it, you realize, wow, you're just entitled and you want more of what you already have, or you want more people to have something someone else has, but you don't want to dedicate understanding and time into realizing why these people have it. Pokimane,
the realest shit, and a good condensation of my reason why we find it annoying every time it happens. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
is probably, I have no idea, still the largest female content creator / streamer to exist on any of these platforms. Maybe there's someone I'm not paying attention to, but I don't really watch too many streamers anyway. Well, she recently did an interview with some podcast talking about the legacy of streaming and how streaming has done all these great things for her, and she dropped this little nugget. Unfortunately, there aren't that many huge female streamers, at least none on Kai and Speed's level. And she's talking about, you know, the good things Kai and Speed have done because they're creative, they're influential, they've actually hit a target audience that has had people excited to watch them and come back and all the time, but she just had to dig that little piece in there about how, unfortunately, there aren't many huge female streamers on that level. And you know, she's correct. There aren't. However, what a drastic slap in the face to all the people who are female streamers that are trying their hardest. And before I get to that, can I just say that maybe I'm the old veteran of watching a bunch of people play video games or react to things, but I remember a specific period in time from maybe 2018 to 2020, at least until maybe November of that year, where it was a lot of female content creators trying to break into doing YouTube, doing live streams, and they either stopped doing it, complained that they were being harassed by a bunch of people, or moved to OnlyFans where they didn't really see success there, and they've gone on to disappear from everybody's ether. When was the last time you actually heard the name Zoe Berger? I just gave 10 of you war flashbacks because
Zoe Berger, Celeste Vega, the entirety of the whole squad. Casey Tron's gone and involved herself in with the fucking commies, so she's smoking herself up a storm in a hookah next to goddamn Mike from PA. Maybe she'll give him the hand jobs that that Kira did not, since very clearly he's still stuck on her and has gotten Mike Goldberg gym fat. Not even to mention how Bad Bunny's disappeared, but I'm pretty sure she's going the same way as Vosh. And she's going to go the same way, at least, as our friend Alexander. Weep! The smallest violin being played for Xander Hall and his inability to manage his money and dating the wrong kind of woman who spent his money on coke and stole from him because he thought he could be able to put his money in the virtual wall that is PayPal and it just simply not be stolen. Truthfully a shame. Truthfully a shame.
You remember how she would just be there in low-cut shorts, titties out, on the occasion she'd bounce, and people were supposed to take her seriously as a real...
Oh, another one. Ice Poseidon's girlfriend / wife, Legendary Lee. Bent over, showed the labia on camera, banned, never came back again. I don't think she even went to Twitch, or excuse me, to Kick.
content creator? No. She was there for a specific level of bait that she knew she could get because, let's be honest, she was attractive at the time. But the thing that's so interesting about Pokimane saying this is that, I'm sorry, people aren't going to be doing the same thing Kai and Speed are doing. Content creation and live streaming, everyone likes to think it's this one big bag where everyone's doing the same thing. No, people are doing different things. Try-on hauls, makeup hauls, just talking, doing interviews, doing challenges, playing video games, reacting to things, talking.
Epstein got for being a monster. Vosh is a volley lover. Hassan is a terrorist. He's winning the war. I would say, by taking progressive victory money and crashing out as he did, he really demonstrated that the only way that he's going to be able to build back a better friendship cycle or news network is either he has to grovel to the same people who built him up and demonstrated they could abandon him and he'd lose money for because he's just simply not a great content creator, or he would have to start dipping into our side of the internet. And a lot of us are going to haze him just to prove whether or not he actually wants to be here or not. As we usually do with most people. That's at least my opinion.
About things. Everyone's not doing the same thing. They're just all a part of that same niche of streaming and content creation. And with your creativity and with your personality, you could see great success and dividends. If you have certain connections, that could help you out too. Pokimane, like I said, is still probably one.
And the preparatory content crusades, maybe PewDiePie. PewDiePie, JonTron, Filthy Frank, which is to say Joji. Joji's personal friends, but they're not breadtubers. In terms of breadtubers, anyone who's winning is anybody who could basically benefit off of being friends with any of the people who are in drama and just simply telling the truth. And like washing their hands. In terms of all the shit, Destiny literally fucks all his female friends and content creators. Vosh is a lolly lover who's responsible for making literally crumb tubers who groom their audience members or are outright boring as fuck and have never done a single thing that isn't bully content. That when they settled up to another content creator in another section of BreadTube, were shown that, no, we don't care about niggas like you from here. We're about YouTube niggas here. You're a Twitch nigga. We ain't protecting your bitch ass. I found it funny. Nigga, I laughed when they made fun of you. And they disappear to go off to be mid-figure, three-figure Andes, streaming about shit that they fucking hate because they know that their audience won't fuck with them. Well, I feel like the joke is that they want to see how long they can bully them until they actually crash out and become a fucking school shooter. Honestly. At least that's what it feels like when it comes to certain crumb tubers.
One of the biggest female content creators and streamers, I don't really see her doing too much to put other smaller female streamers on to be at her level or at least somewhere near her level, because competition is still going to be competition, folks, and that's going to be a little bit difficult to manage, knowing full well that she's going to have to deal with the people she brings up. And as someone who's not the largest content creator, I've tried to put people on. I've tried to put you on to Peachy, to Morrow, to Kamal. These individuals who, except for Kamal, because he's not a woman, unless he has something he wants to tell me, are dedicated to trying to grow their platforms and channels, but they know it takes a certain level of dedication and fucking grind. But because I live in a world where people view that as too much of a distraction, or they want to pretend like they're sitting in a chair, talking into a microphone, talking into a camera, and bitching about something is harder than being a heart surgeon, you have a lot of people who are not dedicated to actually fucking being consistent and wanting to grow and be successful. Second of all, can I just say, Kai Cenat, at time of recording, was at the fucking All-Star game. He is past the point of being like just a streamer. He's more mainstream than you could possibly understand, at least at that level. And because it isn't just sitting in front of a camera and I guess having tier 3 subs masturbate behind that fucking phone, there are VTubers who are women who are large streamers. They're not gonna be on Kai's level. Maybe they want to, maybe they don't. Maybe they like, you know, being in these weird little VTuber-esque mascots parading around, playing games, reacting to things, doing jiggle physics.
Get with the times. We don't like real women anymore. What, you mean these virtual women go online and make money and I have to spend 3 hours putting makeup on? Yep. Get over it, whore. Your days are over. Your womb is drying up. My womb is eternal.
You are actually fucking disrespecting people who are working hard and trying because you have the attention span of a fucking nugget who wants to see people at other individuals' levels. Newsflash, that's never gonna be the fucking case for everybody because they're not dedicating time, they're not dedicating effort, or maybe they're not trying to be like them and they, I don't know, maybe want to be them fucking selves and grow based on who they are, not who other people are. Maybe they want to measure success based on what their goals are, not what Kai and Speed and Big Dennis and Agent and Pokemon's fucking levels of success are. Did you think about that, woman, before you tried to blow hard and talk about, oh, well, Kai's doing good and Speed's doing good and, oh, maybe if we just had more of these people. Well, maybe if more people would actually help each other, you could get to that certain standpoint, because I've seen Kai and Speed and all these other people put other individuals on. Pokemon, could you do a little bit better putting other young female streamers on? I'm not saying you don't, but could you just do it a little bit more so that you wouldn't have this fucking problem? Maybe more people who would actually want to go out and do interviews and be engaging towards a wider fucking audience will dedicate their time to doing that, and we'll see that, and you could shut the fuck up about it. Or maybe, just maybe, and maybe I'm the conspiracy theorist here, but maybe, just maybe, just a little bit, you could shut the fuck up and just be happy that streaming has reached a point where people could think about quitting their fucking jobs. Don't recommend doing that. And be excited that there are people trying to be successful in streaming. Everybody's not going to be successful. This is not something where everyone's cut out for it. It's never going to be that case at all.
Pokemon came out with a statement today talking about there's not a lot of female streamers with the same level of popularity as Speed and Kai. She also says that the streaming scene is becoming more male dominated. Well, you kind of got to understand what Speed and Kai have done. Kai did an entire month stream called the Mafiathon, in which he had a ton of celebrities on there, fucking NBA players. And Speed is
this is not helping your case. You'd think, well, damn, that is actually exactly what we're talking about, is in the exact same pond of the shit we're getting on. That's actually 15 different category points in her argument. That, oh man, these guys are having on these people, and we can't do that. Now, I'm pretty sure Pokemon could probably get away with it, but the contingency of her point isn't when I should have on a bunch of streamers. It's there are not people that she can easily pull to that she can basically use for that for herself. And that kind of hurts your talking point, what it is you're trying to focus on. Now, I know what he's trying to say. He's saying, well, think of all the creative stuff you're doing. Yeah, but also that's one of her talking points. That's one of the things that she's actually mad about. Anyways.
on some world tour shit, bro. Every country he goes to, he's treated like he's Michael Jackson. And not only that, what about the VTuber streamers? Like, do they not count as chicks? Like, what's going on here? Wasn't there a VTuber streamer that was a girl that had more subs than Kai Cenat before the Mafiathon? She was like the #1 streamer in the world. Does she not exist? I guess they counting out VTubers. I don't know what's going on over there. It's just insane when Pokemon come out here and start saying stuff like this. Like, there has to be some type of context to what you're saying, bro, because if you really break it down, you'll start to realize, oh, that's why Kai and Speed have a ton of viewers. Like, at the end of the day, they do interesting shit. Like, I'm still stuck on the fact that we aren't acknowledging any VTubers here. Like, they're chicks too, some of them.
As much as I think guys are incredible and what they do is incredible, also when I think of them, I think how much the audience has changed over the years as well. They're both like two young dudes who do like these crazy wild things, and just from the data and analytics perspective, I find it really interesting to see that the top streamers, their similarities, their differences, especially in terms of audience, and unfortunately, there aren't that many huge female streamers, at least not on Kai and Speed's level. Nowadays, the audience, like, in a way, has gone more a lot to the younger dudes, which was always the thing with streaming on Twitch until, like, a certain period of time, which apparently in this next sentence you're bringing up, which is amazing. But I remember during 2020, I felt a much larger female presence. Again, like I said earlier, they all kind of dipped, stopped wanting to deal with streaming because streaming is something that takes a lot of time. And if, in case anyone who wants to be one of these things, you know, a streamer, content creator, YouTuber, you need to know that your paycheck probably the worst thing you could probably put forth effort into. So it behoove you, if you got a 9-to-5 job, I don't care if you cleaning bathrooms, I don't care if you cleaning hotel rooms, I don't care if you working at Walmart, keep that, because that is contractually more lucrative than being a content creator. Both in the audience and in regards to streamers, we were seeing growing and becoming more popular. Who you see at the top can also a lot of time reflect their viewers. Oh Lord, here we go. When asked by Colin if she believes the internet in general is more male dominated now, she says streaming certainly is. The streaming landscape, let's say 7 years ago, very male dominated. It was the most even during 2020, and since then it's gone back to being more male dominated. Well, is there a way to factor in reasons why? Signs point to not really. In 2020, a lot of people were at home and they had a lot of time to watch a lot of people. A lot of people who had nothing going on decided, hey, I'm gonna take this risk of being a streamer. I'm gonna take this risk of being a content creator. And for a very small percentage of people, it worked out, and they're still streaming to this day. But for those people that it didn't work out for, yeah, they're going back to working a 9-to-5. Maybe they still stream, or they just gave it up altogether, or like I said earlier, went to OnlyFans to try to make it big, and an even smaller percentage found success there, while the ones who didn't are nowhere to be found anymore. Because let's be honest, you wasn't really that good looking on Twitch. You definitely don't got the goods to retain an audience on OnlyFans. Pokimane, the mod team, and the Twitch CEO are to blame on why there's no visible big female streamers when OnlyFans models were taking over the site.
I would say to that comment that no, the mod team and the Twitch CEO standards and the policies and the culture that they promoted, or in their case destroyed, or why there are not big visible platform streamers. If Brittany Broski was a Twitch streamer, we would not be having this discussion. End of. If Brittany Broski was a Twitch streamer, we would not be having this conversation. Because every time we have this conversation, the only few times in the last 10 years this shit came up was specifically YouTubers. The YouTuber to direct-to-DVD pipeline. Certainly we all remember Fred. Certainly all remember Fred the movie. Certainly we all remember Smosh. Certainly we all remember Smosh the movie. The pipeline was never about just Twitch content creators being big. It was about all content creators of all types being big. And them being subsequently rejected by the mainstream because they considered them to be not worth it, not important, and not viable. Because who are these upstarts? Who are these young people who think that they can do what we do better? You think you can be able to contend with us in the mainstream? And the answer pretty much was yes. Not only can we contend with you, we can replace you. And are actively doing so. It was a whole thing. A whole thing. And part of the OnlyFans talking points was only in reference to Emmett Shear. It didn't exist before Emmett Shear departed from the company. It only became to light because of Dan Clancy. Whether Dan Clancy allows the Gooner to happen because he wants to have a easy lackadaisical lens to look through, so he can look at all the hot young bodies he would be so interested to if he was just half of his age, that's whatever. But the culture of the site, no one preserved it. It wasn't important to those platformers. It wasn't important to those broadcasters. It wasn't important to those streamers. They didn't care. Wasn't that, quote, big a deal. So, what would we be defending? What would we be fighting for? What's supposed to keep us, interested and involved with the people that are there at that level? I don't see what would keep me involved or there or engaged with that content. I don't know what would keep me involved in that cycle. But I can promise you I'd be very, very fucking bored. Because all the involvement that I could get and all the conversations you could have about, does Pokimane read too much into this? Does she put too much stock in trying to get everybody to treat everybody, quote, the same? Does she not understand it because she herself is a privileged female streamer that never really had to grind the Sigma grind set of broadcasters that did have to do this? Who knows? But I can tell you she's not going to suffer the consequences that come from this. She never has. None of them ever will. There are some YouTubers that to this day, they've never experienced the consequence that comes with the shit that they do. And when I say consequence, I mean like normal people's lives would have been destroyed had they not had the money, the time, or the privilege to deal with it the way that they could. And I'm not talking about some regular N-word shit. The platform and the culture is responsible for what happens. Pokimane was a part of the Twitch culture. She did not platform smaller people. She, in fact, just avoided them entirely. Anytime she could have been involved, she was hands off. She said, you're not good enough for me to know. You're not good enough for me to be involved with. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be seen with you. And that was that. Anything she says, irrelevant. Because when she had a chance to say something and do something, she didn't do shit.
That is also a thing to think about. The CEO, not the CEO, but like the entire Twitch staff, you can't tell me that they don't pick favorites. They constantly have Hassan in my homepage, and I don't watch that man. I don't follow that man. I do not subscribe to that man. This is a well-curated fucking list of people that they put on that homepage, and you mean to tell me we're not giving these smaller creators a chance to shine more than what they already are? The opportunity's there, but because they have it on all fours to just consume a man's content who promoted a terrorist and condone rich women, I don't necessarily understand how we could live in a world where people are picking favorites. Oh, except for they pick favorites, and it's really going to be difficult for people to achieve past a certain point, knowing full well they're fighting the beast of an entire fucking website. Streaming is not everyone's going to get a fucking chance. I'm sorry to burst anyone's aspirations and bubbles. Streaming is probably the most convoluted, disgusting, and hardest thing you could ever accumulate to any modicum of instant success. It's a luck-based game. It's an algorithm-based game, and I hope some people who dedicate time to it succeed, but if you're not putting forth energy, time, and effort towards it, you might as well just stop now or just casually do it so it could be a hobby that you can enjoy instead of siphoning your life away trying to entertain people for a paycheck that comes once a month and it's not the same as the next one or the one after that. I applaud anyone who dedicates time into making this a full-time thing because I know you dedicated time, effort, and energy to it, but to people like Pokimane who want to talk like everyone deserves a handout, to the 9-to-5 motherfucker, to the person who said that if you take money away from me, you're abusing me, fuck these type of people. All they do is make streaming out to be larger than what it is because they're not getting seen as much as someone else. They're bitter, they're jealous, and I recommend, just for anyone's sanity, whether if you're small, medium, or large, be blessed, be humble, and that's all you ever truly need, and the success will come. Be yourselves, and I wish you all luck in your endeavors of trying to get people to like, share, and subscribe. Mwah.
Complete Kino. 100% correct. Most grounded take that I've seen, but then again, that's why he's ruined Leon. And that's also why I'm me. On that note, I have nothing else for you. So, just wanted to clean that the fuck up. 4 days. 4 days before all of us become digital online poachers in Monster Hunter Wilds. We gonna see you when you see you. And we gonna throw the set up in your face. Because I'll have like maybe 15 days to get to enjoy Monster Hunter Wilds. And then like I told Amy when I planned out for it, you gonna see me throwing up this set. Because it's going to be Fantastic Four, non-stop in Marvel Rivals. but only after into mid-March. Probably closer towards April than anything else. So probably the 3rd and 4th week of March. I need to prep dinner, and I will be back in an hour. After these messages, I'll be soon back. I'll see you all in a bit. GG, Marie.